Number 25, Nancy Harmon. Number 20, Alice Monaghan. Number 17, Rihanna Southby. Number 50, Lindsay Smith. Number 14, Lauren Bell. What about your Western Storm starting 11? Let's pick up with number 5, Heather Knight. Number 37, wicketkeeper Nat Wraith. Number 35, Fran Wilson. Number 63, your captain, Sophie Luff. Number 10, Amanda Jade Wellington. Number 27, Neve Holland. Number 95, Izzy Wong. Number 16, Sophia Smale. Number 20, Chloe Skelton. Number 24 is Lauren Filer. And number 45, Ellie Anderson. So Western Storm won the toss, elected to bowl first. We get underway in just over 5 minutes' time.
Each match is played by 2 teams of 11 players. Some are batters, some are bowlers, and there's 1 wicket-keeper. Both teams have a chance to bat and bowl. Look out for the coin toss. That's how they decide which team bats or bowls first. Each team has 20 overs to score as many runs as possible. The team with the most runs wins the game. 1 over is made up of 6 good deliveries from the bowler. To score runs, batters hit the ball and run between the stumps. If the ball reaches the boundary, it's 4 runs. And if it gets there without bouncing, that's a 6. While the batting team is scoring runs, the bowling team are trying to stop them and get the batters out by taking wickets. A few ways batters can be out are bowled, caught, run out, stumped, and LBW. Watch out for signals from the umpires, 4s, 6s, wickets, and these when a bad delivery has been bowled. Bad deliveries add runs to the batting team's score, and the bowler must bowl an extra ball. If you see the umpire doing this, the next ball is a free hit, and the batter cannot be out, bowled, caught, LBW, or stumped. And those are all the basics you need to know to get behind your team in this year's Vitality Blast competition.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Bristol Seat Unique Stadium. It is double-header day, always a fantastic day in the calendar, and even more so in this particular, iteration of it, because this is the last time that Western Storm will play at Bristol. It is also an important day because it is Purple Day for the charity Grief Encounter, which helped Gloucestershire men's player Tom Smith out so much after he lost his wife back in 2018. They're a charity that effectively helps families, children especially, with bereavement following the death of a parent. So a cause which is very much close to the hearts of people around here, and it means that Western Storm, in their last game at Bristol, will be wearing special purple shirts, which I gather from a Gloucestershire point of view are available to purchase today, and 100% of the proceeds from those sales will go to the charity Grief Encounter. There are donation stations around the ground today as well, but as we see the players ready to come out, let's get this double-header started. Ed Seaborn and Hannah Thompson-Radford on the mic to start with Claire Jenkins to come, and also we're going to be joined, I'm delighted to say, later on by England and Western Storm player Danny Gibson. So do stick with us throughout this first half of the doubleheader. Gloucestershire men taking on Sussex Sharks in the second half of it. And out come Western Storm, looking energetic and ready for this one in their purple shirts against the Southern Vipers, the old nemesis. This was the fixture way back in 2020, in September of that year, that started off the home portion, at least, of Western Storm's existence. The Southern Vipers, the old rivals from the KSL days, and they're going to play each other one last time. One last chance for Western Storm to beat the Southern Vipers in this regional setup. They haven't done it across any of the games that they've played. Maybe today is the day. We've got two terrific looking lineups because England players are available. Not all of the ones who could be playing are, but as we bring in Hannah for the first time, there's a lot of talent on both these sides.
Yeah, that absolutely is. The return of Maya Bouchier, for example, Charlie Dean in the Vipers lineup as well is always exciting. Lindsay Smith's been in superb form. Thinking about Western Storm as well, but Heather Knight, have an England captain featuring. It's absolutely phenomenal. Yeah,
so I can tell you that Storm won the toss and they decided to field/bowl first, as it's a little bit difficult to concentrate against Pitbull, but we're trying.
It really is. I'm glad you said that, because I was thinking, is it just me? But no, my legs are going as well, trying not to dance to it.
It's almost like a sort of a sound tunnel here. It's a very different commentary position from the one that I've been in before. It's my fourth, in fact, different commentary position here at Bristol. We're in the Chief Executive's office as we're ready to get underway with Lauren Filer. And, a little bit of a fumble at square leg, but Sophie Luff is there to back up. So a dot ball. Charlie Knott and Maya Bouchier opening the batting for the Southern Vipers. Georgia Elwis, Georgia Adams, Freya Kemp, Charlie Dean, Nancy Harmon, Alice Monaghan, Rihanna Southby coming in at number 9, and then Lindsay Smith and Lauren Bell. Vipers are a side that would expect to win this match, however. Strangled shout for leg before, looked like baton to pad there from Knott. However, Western Storm, when they've had Heather Knight in the side, and when they've been playing at home, they have been hard to beat, even though they've only won one match in the competition so far.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially opening up with Lauren Filer. We've seen how good she's been in previous matches for the Storm as well. She's really matured over the last few years, and obviously getting that England call-up as well.
Well, that's a terrific bit of work behind the stumps from Wraith, but it will be the first run on a wide. And for Western Storm, just the one change from the side that were bundled out for 99 in their last match, with Alex Griffiths making way for Niamh Holland in that middle order. So Nat Wraith and Heather Knight will open the batting. Fran Wilson, Sophie Luff, Amanda Jade Wellington, the Australian leg spinner, Niamh Holland, Izzy Wong still on loan, Sophia Smale, Chloe Skelton, Lauren Filer, who's bowling now, and Ellie Anderson. And the first run off the bat for Charlie Knott through the offside.
Yeah, good piece of fielding there. Good teamwork. Fran Wilson and Niamh Holland working together to stop that, preventing a potential boundary.
I must say, I'm loving these purple shirts.
I am too. Purple is actually my favourite colour.
It does feel a little bit odd not to see Storm in green. However, with you, the contrast with that bright orange of the Vipers and the purple of Western Storm, it looks magnificent. Shorter delivery, that Boucher can't get it past cover, where Niamh Holland is fielding. So a good start from Lauren Filer, one of those players back from England duty and looking to, I guess, make a real stamp on the regional setup before she would be expected to take part in that New Zealand series coming up for England's women. Played pleasantly, but only as far as Wellington at mid-off, so another dot delivery.
Yeah, she's bowling so well. Can you remember, like, a few years back, we were like, oh, she's got the potential, but she's a little bit erratic, whereas now she's very focused, isn't she? She's finding that lining like superbly, and she's got so many different variations as well. But seeing that kind of evolution across the last few years has been an absolute privilege, to be fair, from our perspective. Get a nice view of it.
Short and pull, but it's not been timed. There could be a catch here, and there is. It's been taken up at mid-on by Smale. Safe pair of hands, Sophia Smale. Don't expect her to drop those, and she doesn't, and that is an enormous wicket for Lauren Filer. She's got Maya Bouchier in the first over, and it is 2 for 1.
Yeah, I got a little bit excited then, like accidentally punched her on the shoulder with my thumbs up to say, yep, she's got that, she's taken it. Sophia Smale, safe hands. We can see on the replay here, we saw this happen several times against the Sunrisers last week when Filer got 3 for 19, and it felt like Sophia Smale's day, to be fair, in the field, because she got several catches, and Filer, brilliant work.
Yeah, I think it's something that you see more and more now in the early stages of T20, and actually even sort of through it for quite a few years. Teams would almost take the attitude of, we're going to sneak through an over here first up. We can just bowl a part-timer, just have one over of that, and then we go to what we'd originally planned to do, because the first over does tend to be an over that isn't particularly targeted. However, now teams are thinking, we've only got a certain number of chances to take wickets early in the power play, and actually we know that power play wickets drive potential wins. And so they've gone straight to their strike bowler, one of their strike bowlers in Filer, and it is so exciting to have Filer and Izzy Wong bowling at either end. English quick bowling on display, and on display for our enjoyment today.
Yep, and it will be not to face as Wong comes in. A beautiful delivery for that first of her over. But yeah, surely these two have got to be the quickest opening bowling partnership within this regional competition.
In the world, I thought you were about to say.
Beautiful shape on the replay there.
Yeah.
Can we say that in the world, do you think?
Well, Lauren Filer's got to be up there.
She clocked, I can't remember what it was, but she definitely clocked some fierce numbers in that test as Wong comes for her second delivery. It's gone aerial, it's gone over the top of the field, and the ball should race away for the first boundary of the innings. It does indeed. So Knott takes the score to 5. 6 on the board for Southern Vipers. We'll see on the replay here. Completely whacked over the top. A good chase from Sophie Luff there, but she was never going to get that one.
Yeah, some width on offer from Izzy Wong. She just didn't start it quite as straight as the first one.
It's Wong to Knott. Returns it back to Sophia Smell on this occasion, throws a little bit wayward back to Nat Rafe. Yeah, it's so exciting to have Izzy Wong here in Western Storm colours. Obviously, you mentioned it's different colours today, but working that loan system really nicely. Storm have been able to pick up Wong and Anderson for this T20 competition. It's been really useful when Filer has not been available as Wong comes in. This time it's hit beautifully over the top. And that has gone for the first 6 of the day. Let's see that one again. It was struck superbly. That was absolutely beautiful. Straight as it can get.
Yeah.
Straight over the back of the bowler's head. Some word said.
Well, it was so straight as well. It's magnificent to see that, and it also just makes you think. This is a fresh pitch for this game. Could be plenty of runs in this.
Wong looks to respond. This time, batter finds the fielder. No run taken.
You just never know here. We've seen some, particularly in the 50 over format, going down memory lane, as I guess we ought to, given the fact that this is the last time Western Storm will play on this ground. You think back to the highest List A English domestic chase here against Thunder back in 2021. We've seen some really high scoring games on this ground. We've also seen some very low scoring ones.
Wong to not find Smell. No run. End of the over. A bit of an expensive 110 from it. 4 under 6. Southern Vipers 12 for 1 here at the See It Unique Stadium in Bristol, and you can see the worm if you're watching on the live stream there.
It's not a very long one at the moment, really. I think it's got a bit of growth to do.
But you can see that sharp dart upwards.
Yes, and it's not much of a Manhattan either. We've kind of got the Chrysler building there, and then not a great deal else. Oh, yes, the run rate has accelerated dramatically to 6 and over. It's all about scale. Anyway, if Charlie Knott stays there and keeps playing shots like she did in that last over, then it's going to get an awful lot higher than 6 and over. And somebody with very happy memories of playing on this ground, because in the 50 over fixture, that was the match that she scored her first List A 100 as the Southern Vipers won that game. Ellie Anderson is into the attack. And a short ball pulled away. Work to do for the sweeper, and can't get there. Too much pace on it. So it is another boundary. Izzy Wong, the fielder, out there, but laid out on a full stretch and could not get there. Very sweetly picked up by Georgia Elwes. A fantastic stat in already from Mike Turner about Sophia Smale, which I'll get to. So that'll just be worked for 1 through the onside. 5th catch of the tournament already for Sophia Smale, which is equalling the record for most catches in a Charlotte Edwards Cup campaign for Western Storm.
Well, she was on absolute fire against the Sunrisers at Taunton the other day. And it was basically exactly the same catch, exactly the same situation, with Filer bowling in her with the safe hands.
She was readying herself there, was not, to play another one of those straight wallops, but then realised the length wasn't quite there and just steered it to point.
Oh, a straight wallop. I like that description.
Well, you can see what she's doing, can't you? From this angle, actually, we're at, I should explain, basically deep extra cover at the moment for Charlie Knott. And from this angle, we can really see how she's setting herself in her crease. Use of the feet and miscue, but it will be safe. Down to deep third it goes. And they're going to try and pinch a second run here, which they will get. So some alert stuff from Knott to come back, as the deep third fielder had to go into the sprawl to stop it from crossing the ropes. But again, the length actually wasn't quite there that time, and she is very much setting herself, almost loading up on that back foot, ready to launch into anything that's just too full on that slot length. And that's good bowling from Anderson. That's exactly the sort of length that she, I suspect, wants to keep it on.
And until you mentioned our position, I was feeling quite comfy, and now I'm thinking, actually, no, we're in kind of danger zone, to be honest. We're in that kind of V where if she strikes it good, it could be coming through our double doors here and coming straight into the comms box.
Well, the one good thing from your point of view, this pitch is a little bit further over towards the far side of the ground from where we are. It would take a mighty hit from anyone to reach us.
You know, you said that, now it's going to happen.
Oh, I hope it does. I'll be ready. 19 for 1 after 3 overs. So Anderson has pulled that over back really nicely after going for the boundary of her first delivery.
Yeah, she's been really good for the Storm. As we mentioned about kind of loan signings, etc. That's worked really nicely for Western Storm. Having that opportunity to have Anderson, getting match time for her from a Sparks perspective as well. She's been really tidy.
Change of bowling at the Ashley Down Road end. Number 16, Sophia Smale.
And here we go. We've got Sophia Smale coming into the mix. She loves these kind of big game moments, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She loves those double headers. She loves kind of running off into the fans, and you know, I feel like she really thrives when we have this atmosphere going on in the ground.
And bowling against these sorts of international players. Georgia Elwes, of course, vastly experienced World Cup winner in the day as well. Plenty of those matches played on this ground, of course, back in 2017. Part of that squad.
See who's going to win this battle, Smell versus Elwes. Played nicely. Back past the bowler, but fielder's there. Yeah, she loves those big match moments. She wants to get that breakthrough. They know that they can't give Vipers too much too soon. This time it's swiped backwards, swept away. 4 runs to Elwes. Score moves on. We'll see it here on the replay as well. It's just loading up. Standard sweep shot.
Yeah, just straying too far down the leg side, Smale, and can't really afford to do that with this field. She would have to have got very lucky for that shot to have found one of the 2 fielders behind square on the onside. Both of them inside the circle with the sweeper out at deep mid-wicket.
23 for 1. Smell comes in. Elwes on strike. This time it's scooped up in the air and it's taken! Sophia Smell with the wicket of Elwes. Elwes departs for 9. That's a brilliant response. Caught by Sophie Luff. We'll see it on the replay. We had to pause for a moment because the ball hovered up into the air. It's edged up into the air. And it just holds up. And it's taken. I have to apologise. It was Heather Knight there.
Yeah, well, that's, I think, also showing the difference between bowling really full and just holding it back a fraction, Smale. And maybe it did just stop in the pitch a little bit. It is tending to be what happens at Bristol over the years. If you can just bowl it a little bit more into the surface, not necessarily short though. If you bowl short, it tends to sit right up, but there's a kind of a happy zone that you can bowl in between the two where it is very difficult to get away because you don't quite know exactly how it's going to come onto the bat. And Elwes there seemingly threw the shot a bit early. Maybe Smale did it with a change of pace as well after the quicker delivery that was fired into the leg side that she could sweep away. One or the other, or potentially a combination of both those things, has done Georgia Elwes, and it brings Georgia Adams, chief storm killer, around the circuit to the crease.
She comes in first ball, swiped away, sent back, no run taken. Didn't quite get enough bat onto it. Yeah, correction, we have a night with the catcher. I'm so used to Sophie Luff being there. But how brilliant is that England captain taking a catch off your bowling? Smell comes in a bit shorter. It's gone leg side. It should be given a wide. As Raceway did a bit of bat get onto that. It looks like it did. So 4 runs to Adams. 27 for 2.
I think she might potentially, we'll have to have a look
replay.
at that again, but I think she might be a bit fortunate that there was some bat on it because it could have been 5 wides. Again, it was quite quick and
it looked like it came off glove then, to be fair. So, yeah, a bit wayward bat delivery. She needs to get back on her mark. Much better. Flicked off the legs. Should just keep it to 1. That brings the end of the over. Southern Vipers 28 for 2. Knots on 13. Adams on 5. Smell 1 for 9 off of that over. And we can have a look here at the scorecard.
Yeah, so much batting left. Freya Kemp, so dangerous. Lots of power. Charlie Dean in that first game back in 2020. A little-known player called Charlie Dean top scored for the Southern Vipers in their win here with a 60. She was batting in possibly a position higher even than that, batting at 5, something like that. And she was so impressive. But of course, that was in the days before somebody coming in from outside the original England setup. And I have to be honest, I didn't know an enormous amount about Charlie Dean, but I certainly did after that game. I don't think she took a wicket with the ball, but actually very impressive with the bat. Back comes Filer. And a slash and a miss outside the off stump. And not outside the wide guidelines. Fiona Richards is the umpire at that pavilion end. Jack Shantry at the square leg position.
Well, in terms of not knowing much about Charlie Dean previously back in 2020, that's what this competition's done so well, hasn't it? It's made people more aware of these regional players. And
Filer, of course, another absolutely prime example of that. And I know what you mean. It's not just about England, is it? Somebody like Georgia Adams, thanks to this setup and then the 100, a lot of people who know who Georgia Adams is that didn't. Well, she wouldn't have got her WBBL call-up, would she? Without this competition, without the 100, etc. It's still fairly circumspect stuff against Lauren Filer. She's forcing them into this because they do not want to lose a 3rd wicket in that power play. And we know what that stat is, isn't it? If you're 3 down in the power play, you're unlikely to go on to win the match. So it's an interesting one. It has been a big toss to win at Bristol in the games that we've seen so far this year, T20 wise. Anyway, both, I know this is men's stuff, but it's still translatable in that it's not always easy to work out what a good score is here. And both sides who've batted first have been really caught out. That's a fairly uncomplicated shot from Georgia Adams, but it doesn't bring any runs. So, to give a bit more meat to the bone, as it were, to do with Georgia Adams, she has never, in her Southern Vipers career in the regional setup against the Western Storm, failed to be dismissed for less than 50. Oh. And she has never failed to take a wicket. Down the pitch she goes. This is pulled high in the air. Fielder running back won't get there. It was Sophie Luff. I thought you just set up that perfectly to be like... Perfectly for the commentator's curse. I thought you were going to say, and now she's got, you know... Unfortunately, Unfortunately, from the point of view of commentator's curse, I'm not supposed to care who wins, and I don't care who wins. But, you know... Impartiality. We are being employed by Western Storm today. I should point that out. It's short and pulled to forward square leg. And there is no run. Another tremendous over from Lauren Filer. 1 run from it, and was a little unlucky not to get the wicket because it was completely miscued by Adams. And 5 overs have gone. It's 29 for 2. It's time to bring in Claire Jenkins for the first time after a few more words from Hannah Thompson-Radford. Yeah, good start from Western Storm. As Ed mentioned, Filer's been absolutely brilliant, especially across the last few matches. Consistency is certainly key. She's been a real talent, a product of this region. She's been phenomenal. Welcome, Claire.
Good morning. Well, it's exciting already. 2 wickets, what we've been doing.
Yeah, it's been good.
Do you think they should have played in purple all along in their entire history? They've got 2 white Vipers out this early.
As Anderson comes in. Short has gone airily over the top of the field. It's going to be safe. Can the fielder chase it down in time? She does a good job there. Keeps running down just to 1. Filer with a big arm. Vipers 31 for 2. Yeah, it's good because, as Ed mentioned, Storm haven't beaten the Vipers.
We want to break that. Think about those. I want to think more positively.
So
Looking for a victory here at Bristol.
on the last time that Storm will play here. So
It's quite an emotional day, really.
it really is, isn't it?
Getting a bit unnecessary.
Anderson to Adams. Flicks it leg side. Should just get one. Fielding from Luff. Inner ring.
Yes,
Yeah,
Adams does like playing against. I think that was the summary really of what Ed was saying earlier. She likes to bat against them and she likes to bowl against them. So Western Storm want to see the back of her.
We've already seen that kind of miscue, that skied effort that was so close to being caught, but not
Captain
quite
Fantastic nearly caught that.
there. Not on strike, uses her feet, misses it. Rafe has a shy at the stumps, but batter is certainly in there. Saw some exceptional keeping from Sarah Bryce actually in the match where Storm played for Blaze.
The Bryce sisters, or the brace of Bryces as I like to refer to them, they really are the axis for the Blaze, aren't they? As Catherine Bryce is something else with her batting and fielding as well.
Anderson to not swipes the leg side. Luff tries to stop it, goes over the top of it, and it races away for 4 more runs to the 7 Vipers total.
It's a quick old outfield here, isn't it, Bristol? You need to understand. Ooh, going to get a replay. And yes, swiped across there. Oh, and just missing the field again. Oh, that's Captain Fantastic again, isn't it? She swapped sides, has she?
Yeah,
She's gone to the side
it
now.
confused me earlier because I was like, Sophie Luff with a catch, and I was like, hold on a second, that's not Sophie Luff, that's Heather Knight. She's fielding in a different position to where we normally see. I'm just so expected to see her up on the other side, as you mentioned, as Anderson looks to respond to not. Shorter again, it's swiped again, but the fielder should get there. Keeps it to 1.
That scared Fiona Richards at square leg umpire, and she thought that was coming towards her, I think, then.
Yeah, Adams, as you mentioned, scores 50 plus normally against Storm, so they're very aware of the threat, which I think is super interesting. Storm now have the performance analysis of the Vipers from last year.
Oh yeah, bit of cross-fertilisation.
So I wonder how much she's told Storm. Shorter is skewed up in the air. Fielder there, can she catch it? One bounce boundary. Could Neve Holland have done a little bit more there? We'll see on the replay. Are we being a little harsh here? Let's have
She's
a look.
right in front of us, so we better say something nice.
Let's just have a look on
We're
the
going to
replay.
get a view of us there, I think. Oh, yeah, we're going to
Slightly difficult.
Far enough round, just out of her reach, unfortunately. But a chance, that's the thing. That's what the field, Western Storm will be pleased about. The ball's going in the air. There are chances coming. They just need to make the most of them.
Yeah, because you mentioned they're going in the air, but not intentionally where they want them to go.
And that is the end of the old power play, isn't it? How many is it? 6 overs now? Can't see the
It certainly is.
6 overs,
7
yeah.
Vipers, 41 for 2 from 6, not on 18. Adams on 13.
Ooh, we're going to see some Aussie now. I've got Wello this end. I'd never actually met her, but you kind of assume that anyone could call her Wello.
Haven't you met her mum though?
That's a good question.
Or you've spoken with her mum, right?
Well, she's heavily active on social media. As Wello comes in, right arm over, that's squirted along the ground via Wello's shin straight to the fielder. There is no run. Sort of communicated with her, I think, on social media. Very active on that. Oh, big swipe back to Wello again. No run again. Can't get this away here, Charlie Knott. So we've got Aussie versus Aussie here. We should point that out, shouldn't we? So Amanda Jade Wellington to her fellow Australian, Charlie Knott, who's having the season of for a while, I imagine. There's a big appeal. It looked batty from the angle that we're at, and that was just the 1 run to short square. Jack Shantry could have fielded that at square leg. This is exciting. Well, she always makes things happen. This is a bit like Sophie Eccleston, I think. It's a big appeal. We're looking at it from an angle, so we can't judge the direction, but we can see a little bit more bat, I think, from here. And it's a leg. Beg your pardon. Signal to leg by. Right arm over. Up and over goes the ball, and Lauren Fowler watches that go over her head. There's a fielder there. They get through for, was that 2, Hannah?
It
That
was 2 indeed.
Yeah.
It was that typical kind of flamingo shot ending up on one leg and with the pose, wasn't it?
It was. So they move on to 44 for 2, approaching the end of the 7th over, the first one after the power play. So what trickery has Amanda Jade got? That's worked to point, but there is no run.
Of course, these two have played in the same team with one another previously.
Yeah, because you mentioned earlier that quite a few have played in the Women's Big Bash in Australia, not just the Aussies. Danny Gibson, who we're going to have a chat with later. She's played some Adelaide strikers. That's up and over again. Lauren Fowler watches that one go up and over. It's 4 runs. So another 4 to the total there. Nicely played up and over the field. Lauren Fowler looking up in the air for the last 2 balls there. Beautifully played by Gads. Georgia Adams. They call her Gads?
Yeah, they do call her Gads.
I'm down with the kids.
Yeah, Gads.
Again, I've not spoken to Georgia Adams, but I imagine...
She is a wonderful human.
Yeah. Have you interviewed her?
Interviewed her, worked with her. A wonderful human.
Okay. 7 overs gone. 48 for 2 are Southern Vipers, who were put into bat at the coin toss. Chloe Skelton to come on.
To be fair, so I actually went to university with George Adams.
Yeah.
I was
It's her claim to fame as well, though.
What, we're going to university?
Yeah.
No, but I used to be actually really intimidated of the cricketers because I ended up being a football girl, not a cricket girl. I'd lost my confidence to play and everything, so I thought she was really scary. And actually, she's one of the nicest humans I've ever met.
She always seems really lovely.
She absolutely is. A Skelton comes in, not uses her feet, and swipes it out into the deep. 1 bounce 4.
Ed talked about a proper wallop. That was a proper wallop through mid-wicket there. Up and over. I think the Vipers are getting their feet under the table here after those quick wickets. But that's the thing, they're always coming back at you, aren't they? They say beware the Vipers.
Skelton, glasses on.
Yeah.
See what she can do. How can she respond to that delivery? Not use her feet again, and it's hit absolutely massive. It's gone for a huge 6 here at Bristol.
Into the black sight screen there. The people in the flats were getting worried.
We're going to see it on the replay. That was another absolutely phenomenally struck delivery. She uses her feet well, and look how straight that is. That is absolutely huge.
Oh my goodness me.
This time it's slapped leg side. Just 1 run.
It does feel like dropping the ball short may not be working with the Vipers now. They've got their feet working and going to the ball.
You don't
just
say.
Saying. It's a wild theory, but you know.
This time, Adams does exactly the same thing, uses her feet, and it struck straight into the crowd. Another 6 for the Vipers.
Poor gentleman. It's a gentleman of the press, I think, they're throwing the ball back.
We're going to see it on the replay.
Everybody's busy here. Keep your eye on the ball at all times.
Let's have a look. She holds the pose, and that is struck again absolutely fiercely. Hitting
There's a Vipers fan ducking out of the way. Brilliant.
The poor spectator there. Skelton to Adams, uses her feet again. This time hits it away for a single. Rotates the strike nicely.
They're motoring now, aren't they? This is a problem for Western Storm if they don't hit this quickly.
18 from this over so far. It's been expensive. Can Skelton respond with her final ball of the over? Not on strike. Can she get the breakthrough? Swipes into the leg side. 2 fielders there. Collected. And we're going to look for 2. They make it back safely. That brings the end of the over. A very expensive over from Skelton. 20 from it. And that's really accelerated the Vipers' score. 68 for 2 here at Bristol. Knott has moved her score to 31, but Adams is very close behind on 26. We can see the worm on there. You can see that elevation.
And, Skelton's been doing all right this season. She got 2 for 31 against the Central Sparks. She got Abby Freeborn and Davina Perrin, which is what you want from the middle order of Central Sparks if you're going to take the guts out of it. So, yeah, she's doing well there. We've got to change of bowling. They've taken Amanda Jade Wellington off. And talking of Central Sparks, Is this Izzy Wong?
It is indeed.
It is. Now I can call her Wongy because I can speak. I have spoken quite a lot with Wongy. I accused her of being a rock star, which I think she probably is, especially with that haircut. there's a whiff of a mullet there. I'm going to speak to her later about that one. But yes, Central Sparks on loan to Western Storm. A bit more fire. It's just the balance with Izzy Wong. One about the rhythm. She needs to get in a rhythm, and it's getting the direction and the speed because she loves the speed. Oh, on the pads. She's interested in that. Oh, she's run after that. Very excited.
She's that player though, isn't she? Who brings that enthusiasm, brings that excitement. Something's going to happen.
Full of beans. She's full of beans. You want to keep her occupied as well. She's having a chat there with the umpire, getting engaged. That's what you want Izzy Wong to be doing.
And
engaged.
She's had a difficult time of it of late as well, hasn't she? You know, she lost her kind of run up, and
it was a rhythm thing for me.
rhythm.
I mean, I play golf and they talk about the yips where you forget how to putt and all that kind of thing, and it's that sort of rhythm. It's that ding 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 ding. Is it right? Is the rhythm right? That's played into the leg side. There is a fielder there who's going to cut that off and down on her knees, and they just get their one run. So Vipers move on to 69 for 2 in the ninth.
You're right, because bowlers do talk about getting the yips as well, though, don't they? And it's like once you've lost that rhythm and you overthink it and complicate it, it's really difficult to
Somerset
get back
Wanderers, captain Frosty, Margaret Frost, she forgot how to bowl one week. She just forgot the rhythm, and it is a bit like that, isn't it? That's played into the offside. There is a fielder running in from the rope, and they just get a 1. Score moves to 70 for 2. The sun's trying to come out, Hannah.
Oh, it certainly is. It's piercing my eyes at the minute. Got a little squint on at the minute, trying to...
I'm lurking in the shade because I'm a bit worried we're going to get a bit sunburnt later. They said you're going to commentate from the chief exec's office. I thought, I won't need my sunscreen on today. I might well have done, as Wong comes in, right arm over, bangs it in, and it's up and over her head. Down the ground, there is a fielder there, so they're just going to get the 1, but a proper thump back. And Izzy Wong decides she wants the fine leg further back, so I'm not quite sure what that means for the next ball. That means she's going to possibly serve another shorter one.
Oh, we'll certainly find out.
We're going to find out now, aren't we? But it was definitely a... Right, now there's a different ball coming out.
Yeah.
Charlie Knott on strike. She's having a season of her life, I suspect. Oh, up and over again. It's going towards the boundary. It's going to be 4. Another 4 runs to Charlie Knott, who is getting some great scores. She got 50 against the Sunrisers off 41 balls. 50 partnership as well. Oh, I'm sure Izzy Wong's delighted for them as that comes straight down the ground. No risk, bounce, bouncy, bouncy, 4.
She's hitting it so straight as well.
Yeah, she is.
So straight.
Yeah, she opened against the Thunder and got 45 off 28, so... Great strike rate. I think it's Charlotte Edwards all over, isn't it? Picking the right player at the right time. She was properly watching the Women's Big Bash last winter time. Ooh, straight through. I think Wongi thought she got her there. She thought she got the same length again and had a big swipe, but not. All swing and no ding, as they say. So into the over. 9 overs gone. Vipers are 75 for 2. Western Storm in their not customary purple tops, which is a great cause that Ed, I know, explained to you earlier, but for those who are tuning in later. The purple is in... Oh, just looking at the graphics there. The purple is for grieving and helping people deal with grieving process. I'll be teeth in. Grieving process. Oh, we've got Amanda J. Joran this time.
We do indeed. Facing up is Georgia Adams. She's striking it away, uses her feet, it's gone aerially, finds a gap in the field, 1 bounce, 2 bounce, straight to the fielder, keeps it to 1.
The fancy word for that is pinch hitting, isn't it? Up and over the top. And that's the point of having that power play, is that the idea is that you do that during the power play because the fielders are too close to stop that, but they seem to have just... I'm going to pinch it anyway.
Wellington to not uses her feet, it's gone very straight again. Fielder tidies it up, just 1 run. Can Amanda Jade Wellington start to put the pressure on a little bit, restrict
She'll
them down?
have some trickery up her sleeve. She's got long sleeves, so she could have lots of tricks up there.
See what she's got. This time, Adams uses her feet well. Finds the fielder out on the deep. They're clinging onto that boundary rope, aren't they? You can see the field has gone very deep now.
Ooh, they're going to out it at me.
They've gone very deep, protecting those boundary ropes. I know how fierce we used to have been already. They have a 50 partnership just from several overs. Uses her feet and misses it.
Dancy, oops.
Amanda Jade Wellington with the wicket of not, stumped by Nat Ray. She has to depart for 37.
As soon as it went past her, she's like, oh dear.
I love your way to describe it. How does it go again?
Dancy, oops, that is.
Dancy, oops. It certainly was.
Yeah, even if you don't know cricket, you know, when you see that happen, the batter goes beyond the ball, comes towards the bowler as a swipe, but realises, oh dear, the wicketkeeper is right behind me, and that's the end. Well, an entertaining innings there from Charlie Knott.
It certainly was, but now Kemp comes into the mix.
This is a bit like the I've watched a lot of international cricket on this ground where Australia are playing, and you get a wicket and you think, oh great, we've got a wicket, and then you see who's coming out next, you think, oh dear, we've got Freya Kemp. Not only that, she's left-handed, which always means that you've got to be changing your position in the field to the left and the right-handed batters. So
the only thing I find with Freya Kemp though is she's here for a good time, not a long time often.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah, if she gets in, she really gets in.
Yeah.
But sometimes can go a bit cheaply.
Well, okay.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, last time they played Western Storm, she got 34 off 24, including a 6.
See what I mean?
Yeah, entertaining indeed.
Yeah, either goes for it or...
She's also number 2 in the 6 hitting parade, as it were, with 4 6s so far in the competition. And I think that the stats will have changed now because the Vipers have been banging the ball into the stadium today, into the seats.
So Kemp faces her first delivery from Amanda Jade Wellington.
Ooh.
And misses. Hands on head from the Storm. A bit of
I
something in that.
Can't see the line here, so but that.
Let's see on the replay.
Let's have a look on the replay. Oh, underneath the bat. Well, she's got some magic.
You did mention that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
This time Kemp uses her feet, finds the fielder.
Ooh.
A stumble from Heather Knight. They'll get away for a quick single, which will keep Kemp
She's
on strike.
filthy with herself, like, oh, you didn't stop that one. I wish I had.
But it will keep Kemp on strike. Total 79 for 3 from the Southern Vipers. Kemp on 1, Adams on 30. And you can see on the screen the run rate slightly just dropped down a little bit.
It's a bit of a roller coaster.
Because of that, well over.
Oh, we can do the Jenkins formula. So thank you, Hannah. I'll speak to you later. The lovely Ed is coming back. Oh, he's going to join me, and we can do the Jenkins formula now. Ed does numbers, so he can do double plus 20. I'm waiting for the numbers to come back on the... What are we at? 79. Double plus 20, it's 79. See, Ed knows those numbers. I think in a moment he might even tell me what double plus 20 is of 79.
178.
Here we are. That's Jenkins' formula, but copyright to me, of what Vipers should be aiming at as Filer comes in. Oh, it's banged up in the air. Is he going to hit top edge? Oh, it's dropping between the fielders, Ed.
And they're going to come back for 2 as well.
Oh. Well,
I'm really sure that second probably should have been on, but there we are. That's annoying for Filer. That's the second time she's got a complete miscue off that short delivery.
Come on, Lauren. Now, I have met Lauren Filer's parents, who are delightful.
You are name dropping like
yes,
nothing today.
I know. I got the opportunity, but I don't know many of them, so got to take it when I can. As Filer bangs it in, goes down the leg side. I think we might have a lot of byes or wides here. They're going to cut that off. No, they're not going to cut it off. 4 runs. Oh, they're saying it's off the bat, says Fiona Richards at this end. So 4 runs. The end of the. Was that the end of the over? Oh no, she's bowled her.
Bowled.
Ed, what happened there?
It's the leg bail has been flicked. She can't believe it. I thought it was just
I can't
that she
believe
could.
it.
Well, the umpire
Fiona
could neither.
Richards
She gave her 4 runs.
That's got confused me.
Extraordinary. I wonder if.
It must have been one of those quiet ones. Here we go.
Let's have
Whispering
a look.
death from Lauren Filer.
She's trodden on them.
She's trodden on her own wickets. Well, we couldn't see that from here, could we? We're a long way away.
Staring at the ball going down to the boundary, and she's got something on it.
And then Kemp's like, oh dear.
Wow.
That's my big feet.
I wonder how many hit wickets we've had in the history of the Charlotte Edwards Cup. There can't be many.
Oh, I'm sure Mike Turner will be on that, won't he? Or maybe Hypercourse if we're really lucky.
We're really lucky.
Yes. Step back onto... Oh, Ed. Well, how often do you see that on all your commentary?
Well, like I say, I certainly don't remember seeing it in any Charlotte Edwards or Rachel Hayhoe-Flint game that I've covered, and I can't remember the last time I saw it in a T20 match full stop, to be honest. But it is something that you kind of feel surprised that you don't see more often, because batters are getting so deep in their crease. And you know Freya Kemp is somebody that likes to do that as well. She does get so deep, and especially if it's going to be on that Yorker length, she's got those levers that she can still lift it over the boundary if she can get that deep in her crease. But she's got too deep and has paid the price. What a strange turn of events. And Filer 2 for 5 from 2.2 overs. And I suppose she'll say, well, look at my searing pace. I knocked her backwards and knocked her over.
Off her feet. Really knocked her over. Oh, well, there we are, a collector's item. And you could see why the umpire wouldn't have seen that as she backed into the stumps there. And everyone, including all the fielders, thought it was for Filer. Elbows flying. Oh, she's got an abort this. That's a refusal there. Oh, let's have another go. Go back to the 25-yard circle. Remember, in the women's game, the circle is 25 yards. In the men's game, it's 30 yards, despite what people might say on commentary. It's 25 in the women's game. Oh, it's banged in, and that's defended very respectfully by Charlie Dean, or Dino. I was at the England game at Northants. I was stood next to a guy that used to work with, Mike Stubbs, lovely guy, and we were going, Dino, Kempy, Glennie. It's typical sort of cricketers shorten the surnames thing, so Filer to Dino. Plays that to point, but there's a fielder there who swoops that up, and there is no run.
I know
81 for 4.
It always does look a bit quicker because we are slightly side on here, but gosh, does she look like she's bowling quickly. She looks in incredible rhythm today, does Filer, and she hasn't bowled for quite a few overs. You know, she's been grazing the boundary for, 5 overs, something like that, and she's come back and bowling as quickly as she was earlier. It's not quicker.
It's a great action, isn't it? She works that down to third. It comes off the rope, and they get through for a single. Score moves to 82 for 4 into the second half, as it were.
Hannah's been coming up with some nicknames for us. Jenky.
I'm sometimes known as
I'm not sure about my one, Borny. I don't think that's going to stick.
What the Derbyshire girls used to call me.
Well, I did used to bowl leg spin, I guess, actually. Borny and Borny,
yeah.
That's where the similarities end.
There's some cricket breaking out here. That's played to cover point, and they get through for an easy single there. Dean off the mark, and that's 11 overs gone. Vipers are 83 for 4. Georgia Adams, the captain, on 31. And they've taken the graphic off the screen. Georgia Adams on 31 and Dean just off the mark.
Well, they've replaced it with a new graphic that you might like even better, because it shows the hit wicket Filer.
Yes, hit wicket Filer.
Kemp.
And that will have, have we got the scorers? That will have got AJ Bull and S. Reese. AJ Bull and S. Reese, yes, you are getting a name check. They'll be excited about that.
I'm sure Adrian Bull won't be excited about
was he not?
it.
I haven't met them.
No, Adrian Bull is the Gloucestershire men's scorer, so be doing the double shift today like me.
That sounded like an answer for, so he won't get excitable.
Well, no, but, you know.
Bull and Reese, they sound like
we have to stay level-headed
brand.
round here. Here's Wellington continuing, and there won't be a run there through the onside. So Wellington's having to bowl to the short, straight boundary, but so far they haven't really managed to target it off her. And there's another slight misfield at backward point. It's not easy already as we're reaching towards the halfway point of the season, believe it or not.
Don't say that.
No.
Well,
I'm not going to dwell on it, but then you made me dwell on it. The practice pitches, the pitch ends, particularly on this ground, it's not unique in that respect, despite being Seat Unique Stadium. It's
unique in that respect.
It is tricky. Some of those bounces already. Oh, going deep, trying to cut, and she has nicked it. So Charlie Dean has gone. That must have been just a little feather through to Nat Wraith, who's been sharp behind the stumps today, saved a couple of potential extras, and there she's grabbed the court behind off the schnick from Charlie Dean, and Storm are beginning really to fight back here. This has been an exciting innings so far. We've seen some big blows, some fours, some sixes, some lightning quick bowling from Filer, and now some wily leg spin from Wellington. 84 for 5.
She is wily, isn't she? That's yeah, it's a good description for Amanda Jade Wellington, and a great import for Western Storm. And I imagine she's good to have around the camp as well. Obviously, I don't know the players that well, but she strikes me as somebody who's a great team player.
Just have a look at that wicket again. You're going to see exactly what Wellington did with that. It sort of looked as if she pushed it off out of the front of the hand a little bit. It was still the leg break because it did turn a bit, but
lots of trickery, isn't there?
Looked as though she did just bowl that one slightly more out of the front. And back live as went for a bit of a wander there, did Georgia Adams. There's certainly never a single there. I'm not sure that she really thought that Sophie Luff was going to throw that ball. The pressure being kept on here as Nancy Harmon looks to get off the mark. And will do so there. Pushing for a second, but I'm not sure they're going to manage that.
Over optimistic. Cricket Her have got a great stat here. Thank you, Sid Egan. He's saying Amanda Jade Wellington has picked up well over 100 wickets in WBBL, and a quarter of them have been stumped. Way more than anyone else. So maybe not the player to come. They've put skipping down the pitch too, but you know what I call it.
Yes, we do. And then she's trying to do exactly that is Georgia Adams, and just gets it past Knight. Now there's some hesitation. There could be a run out at the striker's end, and the umpire says no, it's not out. Everybody getting very excited. Well, me getting very excited mostly.
It was?
Still.
It was exciting.
Just about making her ground was Harmon. It was a cleverly taken single from Adam, because she was already quite a long way down the pitch, and then thought, well, I should be running to the danger end here. But just the time it took Wraith to get back to the stumps, it looks as though Harmon has made it. But a direct hit might have got her.
That would have been, yes, very exciting.
86 for 5 then, after 12 overs. Because they will continue with spin with Sophia Smale.
Oh yeah, with the tubey grip on her arm. She was having a right good game when Hannah and I were on the other day. She was in everything. She was taking catches, hitting runs, taking wickets. Left arm round. Big swipe around that into past the point fielder. Just the one run. Another one to the total. 88 for 5.
But even on this occasion where Storm have managed to take plenty of wickets, Georgia Adams still the constant. They just can't get her out.
She's got that one on her back, and she is the one. Left arm round, worked into the leg side. Oh, Captain Fantastic Sophie Luff. Oh, great dive on those practice strips that you mentioned. She's going to be. She's got short sleeves on. She may regret that later. I think it's going to be like sandpaper on that bit she's diving around. Back and defends that straight to Sophie Luff again. There is no run. Still 87 for 5 into the 13th over. And Nancy Harmon got a warm up from Georgia Adams' call on that last over. And that's played straight to the fielder again, and there's no run there either.
Short extra and short mid-wicket in really close at the start of this over. They'll probably move back a bit now just to protect the end of the over. They want to make sure that Smale can get out of this with only a few runs conceded.
Yep. Left arm around. Nancy Harmon's back, and then there's a sort of muted appeal, but
Who was
I think
that?
it's a bit batty. I think it's just somebody's just over exuberant.
I wonder if it was. I reckon it was either Sophie Luff or Amanda J. Wellington.
Sophie Luff, not a bowler, not known as for her bowling. I did see a picture of her bowling something recently. Oh, that's worked to square leg. And they're going to get through for a single. They might even think about a mad second now. Just the one then. Just the one to the total. 88 for 5. That's the end of the over. 13 down. Adams on 34. Oh, just took it off again. Bowling figures. So we've got Filer with 2 wickets. Wellington with 2 wickets. Because then I think Wellington is not allowed to play a game where she doesn't have multiple wickets. I think because she has to take 3 fors, 4 fors, 5 fors and things. And good economy rate from the top bowler, which is gone again. So we saw not an enterprising 37. And some shorter scores from Boucher and Elwes, and then Adams, as you say, holding an end, as they say, came and went, stepping on a wicket. And then Dean also in and out quickly, and then Nancy Harmon. For a bit of calmness, I imagine, will be what Vipers will want, but Izzy Wong from the other end. So we've got Swapsy's head.
So basically, you're either going to get 30 or you're not going to get 10 so far. Down the leg side, that will be a wide. Again, Wraith has got something on that means it's not going to be as many as it might have been. Now it could be a run out as well, and Wraith can't take the ball cleanly off the throw, and I suspect even with the time that would have taken, there might have been a run out, as once again Nancy Harmon finds herself diving towards her crease in desperation and just about making it. Let's have another look at this though.
Oh yeah,
the throw was quite wide of the stumps actually, looking at it from that angle. So I'm not sure she would have had time anyway, Wraith. Now they're going to go for a quick single to mid-off, which is taken as the ball isn't picked up by Wellington. But again, Harmon was running to the danger end there, so I suspect that time, even with a direct hit, she probably would have made it. But they're certainly looking to push the envelope as far as the running between the wickets is concerned here, the Vipers, because they aren't getting boundaries anymore.
Poor old Nancy Harmon is having to eat dust at various points, bless her. Welcome to the crease.
Clipped fine. Oh, that's definitely going to be a run out with a hit, and it misses. Ball after ball, Western Storm are getting these run-out opportunities, and that time Sophie Luffett was at short, fine leg, not a position that you'd necessarily see her at. She fielded quite a lot there when she had a broken finger, but finds herself there again, and, well, they just about crossed the batters. A shout for leg before, again from one person, I think, Nat Wraith that time.
I won't blame the spectators, actually.
No.
We've got some rough people in today. I've got a couple of mates in.
Oh, right. Well, that's all right.
They're probably shouting
now you've thrown them.
Under the bus goes Ali and Jane. I hope you're enjoying the game.
Good stuff. I was going to say, I thought you were casting aspersions on the Bristol crowd. I thought maybe you'd been to a Gloucestershire-Somerset men's T20 match. See a few things. Well, there's that really slow delivery from Izzy Wong, which Adams waits for this time, but can't do too much with.
I was commentating at Edgbaston yesterday, talking about naughty spectators, and that was a double header as well. The Hollies was filling up.
Oh gosh!
As the women's game got underway, we had some people in prison uniforms, and Polly Starkey and I speculated they might have got locked in.
Got out and mugged the the officer on duty off the pad and stopped by Wraith. So the first dot ball of the over.
If you've not been to Edgbaston, it's a huge new stand, and at the back of it, basically, it's just barrels of beer. So if they were locked in, they'd have fluid to consume.
Well, that is not, as they say, the vibe today. This is family day.
This is family day. It is, and we were here, weren't we, this time last year? It was beautiful. It's great.
Yeah.
They get players doing signatures.
Exactly.
Play
at the end of the double header, that will
really
happen.
Good.
Oh, there's a shout which looks pretty close, and Jack Chantry considered that for a long time, and in the end, has given it not out, given it leg buys as well. So we know that there was no inside edge. Oh, that's probably one of those where if there were a decision review system, which there isn't, either way, I think that might have been staying with the umpire's decision. It might have been hitting leg stump, but equally, I'm not sure it was hitting a huge amount of it. So you can see why Jack Chantry's given the benefit, but you could tell from how long he stood there that he was more than considering it. So Storm kept appealing, but didn't get it. We've got some T-shirts being fired into the
We're in the
crowd
wrong place.
now.
I'll never get one up here, will he, Ed? We'll never get one of them. Yeah, from in real life, that it sort of sounded batty, but then he gave the leg by. So perhaps it was a bit of both. Perhaps it was
not, yeah.
But it might have been, yes. Anyway, we're not at the right decision, and I'm not allowed to make decisions about. I'm not allowed to comment about the umpire. And as Filer comes in from the pavilion end. Oh, she's bowled her. Stump flying, bail flying. Filer gets Harman for 4. So I love that music. Tom Hark. Oh, take me back to my teenage years. Yeah, stump flying, and that's the one that the fast bowlers always want to see. Never mind with bothering with the fielders. Straight through, stump out the ground. Ooh.
Yeah, well, I love this move, by the way, to have Filer bowl her over here. Yes, it's potentially meaning that Storm are going to have to bowl quite a bit of spin at the death. However, if they can get a couple of wickets this over, then they can really limit what the Vipers can achieve, even with the batting lineup being as deep as we've said it is. And that is, well, it's good old-fashioned fast bowling, isn't it? Yeah. A good old-fashioned song for good old-fashioned fast bowling, because bowling full, straight and fast at the stumps has tended to work quite well over the years, and it certainly worked well for Lauren Filer there as leg stump is flattened.
You say good old-fashioned, also reminds me of when she played in the Ashes Test last year. The crowd at Trent Bridge really got behind her. They were clapping every single step in. It was a magic moment, particularly making your debut in an Ashes Test match, and then getting wickets as well. Yeah, fan favourite already in her England colours, and today's hero as well for that stump cartwheeling. So next victim up, next batter is Alice Monaghan for the Vipers in their familiar orange. What's Filer got next? Oh, you could feel the flinch of Alice Monaghan.
And you can see from where she's ended up, can't you? The fact that she's ended up basically an entire set of stumps, I should say, with outside leg stump after having faced it.
Yeah, George Adams is just saying, try and be brave, I think.
Something really helpful usually in that sort of situation, like watch the ball. Yeah, I'm trying. It's just a blur.
Oh, full toss. But that's dabbed down. It might have even been a cadunked, Ed, but there was no run. I know you missed them. I know you snipped
Cadunked downwards.
You snuck a schnick in, didn't you, earlier?
A schnick?
Yeah, you said that was a schnick, that catch behind.
Well, I've always said.
You snuck that in.
But
I think that was close to a cadunk then.
Yeah, cadunk is something which is very unique to commentating with Claire Jenkins. I can't possibly steal that one.
Outside there's a flash outside. It's a very extreme batting stance from Alice Monaghan. So we can't see that on the live stream, but we've got an angle at it, and she's very angularly forward. She's got to wait a long way forward as she's waiting for this.
When's the bumper coming then?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Filer will be too polite to bowl it.
She's got 2 balls left to do it. This over so far is woo!
Look at that stance. It's very extreme from our angle. Oh, has a little go at that. Straight through. No run again. So a wicket, a dot, a dot, a dot, a dot.
The woo gets longer.
Yes, a long woo so far. Are we going to have a full woo? I was watching the Pakistan series with Lauren Filer bowling live, and when you see it live, someone like Taunton, wow, you really don't want to be facing this. Ooh, and that's worked to third, very finely to third, and they get through for a single. And she's going to face the next over now, having messed up Lauren Filer's figures with that single at the end of that over. So we've got 15 overs gone, and I'm going to have a little break, I think. And you're going to be joined again by Hannah Thompson and Radford, academic. I'm leaving, but you're listening to the voice of Claire Jenkins, a former Somerset player. And Ed, the lovely
and
Ed.
me.
Seabull.
Yeah, great. Thanks for that.
He's
You were just about to
Ed.
press that button there, weren't you? After saying,
right.
and Ed. Thanks so much, Claire Jenkins. I think it's time for me to press the button for you. Off. So in the end, that over's read wooey, which is probably the sort of noise that I would make if I were facing Lauren Filer. What a spell. 3 for 8 from 4 overs. And that is some of the best fast bowling I've seen on this ground for quite some time. With 5 overs left, 97 for 6, and time for a return for Ellie Anderson from the Ashley Down Road end. Full delivery driven through the offside and for 4. Split the gap between short third and backward point. That's a nice shot from Alice Monaghan. A little overpitched from Ellie Anderson. But still, you've got to find that gap. Viper's 100 comes up.
Yeah, we'll see it on the replay now. Let's take another look. She comes in. That was beautifully played by Alice Monaghan.
Just using the pace. There is still some pace to use with Anderson bowling, which means they brought their deep third back. Long off and long on up. Short delivery striking Monaghan on the body. Scrambling through for the leg by, so she has done her job. Got Adams on strike, but it feels as though Adams has had none of the strike in these last few overs.
Well, I disappeared 5 overs ago and she was on 30.
Yeah.
And I've come back and she's only scored 6 more runs.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of sums it up, doesn't it?
What wickets can do. Adams cutting the ball away, beats point, but there is protection on that offside boundary, and they thought about a second, which was in the end turned down. Hard to know so often what a good score is. We've seen quite a lot of strikes straight down the ground, which would lead you to think that maybe the pitch is pretty good. There is seemingly some pace in it, but then there's pace in the Western Storm attack. There'll be pace in the Southern Vipers attack as well. Oh, down the leg side, that's really athletic work from Wraith. Again, she saved what could have been 5 wides, and it will end up being 2.
She's been absolutely spectacular with the gloves today, hasn't she? And I was just triple checking as well. I think Violet's stats must be her best T20 stats, because I'm pretty sure against the Sunrisers it was mentioned on social media, but her 3 for 19 were her.
Yes, I think I did see that as well. I was thinking at least it must be her most economical in 4 overs. Anderson taking pace off. Let's hit towards the gap, so they might fancy 2. They will. The shy will go to Adams's end, but she knows she's got it measured, and she's back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is for Filer, but I'm sure somebody listening on social media can confirm for us.
If you give me enough time for the old steam-powered technology.
Wind
to my
it
left.
up.
Yeah, crank it up. Breathe on it a bit, warm it up. At the end of this over, I might have a check myself. Into the pitch and pulled behind square. Really intelligent stuff from Georgia Adams. She had time to size up where she could hit that, and a lot of people would have tried to slaughter that one out through cow corner, but she had the presence of mind just to wait for it and pull it round the corner with the field up at short fine. And it's another boundary, so the innings just beginning to start to move again for the Vipers.
111 for 6 for Vipers. Adams 43 off 31. Monaghan on 5 off 7 at present.
Last ball of this over, it's been a very good one for the Vipers. We'll end with another scrambled single as Wraith fires towards the non-striker's end and towards the batter, trying to make her ground, but that's worked out well in the end for the Vipers, with Adams getting off strike one way or another. A few extras in the over, but a couple of boundaries as well, has just got that run rate graphic ticking back upwards for the Vipers, and they've still got 4 overs left. If they can have a really good finish here, get up towards 150. I did say at the back of the box I don't think Storm would want to be chasing much more than 150, certainly against this attack. But if they can finish well here, the Vipers, that's what they will get.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen in the women's domestic game, year on year, scores are increasing, aren't they? And 140 is a general score now, which you have to get a smell, comes into the attack. One run will be taken. But yeah, you need at least 140 these days, don't you?
To feel comfortable. Yep. Sometimes here we've seen even 120, 130 be very difficult, but I don't get the feeling that this is one of those pitches.
Smell comes into Monaghan. Plodded back to her. Got 1 for 12 from her 2.2 overs, because 2 deliveries has been bowled so far within this third over. And I had a gasp of air then, because I thought she was going to bowl her, but it snuck away for a single backwards. I think a bit of bat got onto it. We'll see a signal if not. No,
yeah.
Definitely off the bat. I think it was off the toe. We'll have a look on the replay there.
Bit of fortune. Yeah, Mike Turner has confirmed what I just got up to my left, that Lauren Filer's figures are her best in T20 cricket.
So I should just back myself more rather than hesitate, shouldn't I? But Smell comes in, a bit more pace on that delivery. Gets whacked out to the deep. Single keeps the scoreboard ticking. 1.21 from the over so far. Again, struck into a similar position. Struggling to get Smell away here.
You know, it really does bring back so many memories being back here, because this is quite similar to the position where I did my first Western Storm game, the first home game. Sophia Smell wasn't even in the setup then.
Oh wow, yeah.
Not in the senior setup anyway.
Yes, yeah. That's the end of her over. Southern Vipers 118 for 6, Monaghan on 9 and Adams on 45. We can see the wagon wheel on the screen now, so you can see it's been pretty 360-ish.
Yeah, quite a lot straight down the ground. That's where the sixes have come. Some boundaries square of the wicket as well. Again, it's those strikes straight. You don't always see it being particularly easy to hit the ball straight down the ground on this particular ground. So
you really have to trust your shot, don't you?
Yeah, and you have to have the pace onto the bat to be able to do that. Wellington coming in, and this has been hit down the ground, but I think it'll fall right between 3 fielders, and they try to come back for 2, which they will in the end make. So Monaghan looking to go big down the ground somewhere, and ends up placing it perfectly. Another great stat from Mike Turner, Nat Wraith's 50th keeping dismissal for Storm. Down the ground it goes, and into the hands of Long On. So Monaghan looking to repeat the dose, going big into the leg side, but has only succeeded in finding the hands of the Long On fielder, and it is a 3rd wicket for Amanda Jade Wellington. So don't use your feet against her. So she did stay in the crease, did Monaghan that time, but maybe as a consequence just couldn't quite get the power behind it, and it's a simple catch for Fran Wilson down at Long On.
Yeah, it absolutely was, as you mentioned, simple. But to be fair, good if you mentioned intent kind of thing, at least positive intent from Monaghan. She doesn't get as many opportunities with the bat as perhaps others in that Vipers lineup have done, right? She hasn't got as much of the experience as the others. So you can see what she's trying to do, and I feel like that's part of Charlotte Edwards' coaching, right, is hitting that area. When she went to the WPL, etc. as well, they were talking a lot on social media about how that's her coaching influence, you know, giving the players confidence to play those shots.
And of course, we know that Charlotte Edwards herself didn't hit a huge number of sixes, but as you say, that is certainly what she wants to see. Southbeard is coming in, and there's a bit of a mix-up there, as I'm not sure that Adams was quite as convinced as Southby was that it was far enough away from the fielder, but it was Southby's call, and in the end she was right, because Knight had a bit of work to do at short extra.
Well, when it does go to the England captain, you are going to hesitate, aren't you? For a minute.
Oh, there's no respect nowadays, is there?
Well, clearly not.
No, there's none of that. I just don't care who they're facing. Cut away, and they won't take one there, as it has been sharply fielded at point. Chloe Skelton in there. This time past Skelton, but only for a single, as Adams continues to make her way to that number. Wellington with just one delivery left. Suspect. Well, it'll be interesting to see how Southby plays this. You would think maybe circumspection, see off Wellington, but perhaps Southby will have other ideas. Oh, goodness me, she did, but even if she did, she still just about survives it. Have a look at that just to see whether there was a large amount of turn. Just enough. If you get that amount as a leg spinner, that's all you need. Past the outside edge. Beautiful bowling again from Wellington. She has been so much fun to watch this year. Quality leg spin. And she's not a fast leg spinner either. She can bowl a quick delivery, but she does like to give it some air, and that is always fantastic to see from a cricket watching point of view. 3 for 17 from her 4 overs, and 122 for 7 with 2 left.
And it will be Sophia Smell to continue. And that's absolutely whacked on the leg side. 4 runs. Adams brings up her 50. As Ed mentioned, she does this a lot against Western Storm. She's never ever been out before hitting 50 against Western Storm. A brilliant innings from the Southern Vipers captain.
Yeah, the one time that she didn't make 50, she was unbeaten at the end of a Western Storm game against the Southern Vipers, a successful Vipers run chase. There weren't enough runs for her to get to 50.
This time the fielder does well to stop another boundary from Adams.
As I say, the ominous thing is, as we get the details around the ground, 37 deliveries for the 50. The ominous thing is that she always takes a wicket as well, so I have to be mindful of her bowling as well as her batting.
You can hear sharp, yeah. They look for one, they're looking for 2. Adams gets sent back.
Well, you
Definitely
possibly have got 2 there if you'd really pushed
Ooh,
it. But,
do you think?
Well, I think if you'd really turned and gone,
Yeah,
especially because Southby is very fast, but you probably want Adams on strike.
And on strike she is, and she's hit it over the top of Luff. Did she get a finger to it? I'm not too sure. We'll see on the replay, but it races away for another boundary. Adams in form here. Captain spectacular. We'll see on the replay now. Let's take a look at that. Did Luff get a hand to it? No, way over the top of her head.
Dilemma now, having seen a couple of boundaries in that area, but you can't have the fielders everywhere on the leg side.
Smell in. Adams uses her feet again airily. There is a fielder there, and the fielder takes it. That is the end of Georgia Adams. Brilliant from Sophia Smell. A good catch out in the deep. Adams departs for 55.
Oh, it's Fran Wilson again, and she just makes it look so easy, because it just looked at the last moment as though she wasn't quite going to get there, but she had it all under control. One motion, diving to her left, down low, and then just rolls the ball back in like she's done that 1,000 times, which, to be honest, she has, but still, it is impressive. And they have got rid of Adams, which, even though there are only 7 balls left in the innings, could be a really important moment as the Vipers look to target something close to that 150 mark, but they find themselves 8 down now.
Yep, Lindsay Smith comes into the middle, which, interestingly, for the Diamond, she did open up it a few times. I think it was in the Hey-Ho Flint, wasn't it? I'm not sure if she opened up in the T20.
Yes, good point. I can't remember which competition it was in.
Which was unusual, because we do normally see her in the tail with Sophia Smell to Smith. Flicks it off her legs for a single.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was in the 50-over format. She tended to play a slightly longer game at the top.
End of the over. 7 Vipers, 133 for 8. Southby on 2, Smith on 1. And we can see here on the Manhattan how the scores are looking.
It's that consistent blob at the top of the buildings, the sort of satellite dishes, which Storm have managed to pile up, and they've done it fairly consistently through this back end of the innings, which has meant that despite the fact that Georgia Adams was going great guns, she wasn't always on strike as much as the Vipers would have liked. So 1 over left, and it is Izzy Wong to bowl the last one as Western Storm get their field in position for the left-handed Lindsay Smith. And Izzy Wong says, "Where are you going?" to the deep third fielder Filer.
We should mention as well, Smell ended on 2 for 28 off her 4.
Yeah. Very much solid figures from Smale. Here comes Wong to bowl the last over. Starts off with that slower delivery. It's intelligent bowling, because whilst Lindsay Smith, as we've said, she's opened the batting before, she can certainly hold a bat, even if she's coming in at number 10. But whether she would have the muscle to launch the ball over the leg side off that slower delivery, it asks the batter to put everything onto the ball. And we might see quite a few of those slower deliveries in the last over as well. Southby probably more somebody who looks to use the pace as well, rather than necessarily clouting the ball about, but mid-off and mid-on are up, so she could target straight down the ground. Roughly where she's looking to go, but ooh, I don't think that would have been out with a hit, but it was certainly a sharp throw from Wellington.
Would have been interesting.
Probably home, but then the throw, the amount of power she got behind that throw was more than I was expecting from basically a standing start. They'd be happy with singles just off this last over, leave them 140 to win. And that is just going to be another single. Excellent length from Izzy Wong. Can't get underneath that, really.
No, this is absolutely superb from Wong. As you mentioned, very intelligent. And as we mentioned, it's really nice to see her back with her rhythm, enjoying cricket.
I was so excited to see her play. I mean, this is the first time I've actually got to see her and missed that last home fixture. Short ball, and she's nicked it. Wong's got the wicket of Southby, and the Vipers are down to their last pair at the crease. So the surprise short delivery, she had the field set for it as well, deep third and fine leg back. And, well, she started off going for the ramp and then switched to the pull shot, but too late. And all she could do was help it into the gloves of Wraith, who's got her 51st Storm dismissal.
That will do rounds on social media, that dismissal, I am sure. Wong had one the other day that, I think it was the dismissal of Tammy Beaumont that I saw all over social media people were praising.
Well, she is, as they say, box office.
Oh,
anything that Izzy Wong does is rightly going to do the rounds on social media. Such a popular figure, and she's got a potential, say, almost England rival in her sights here with Lauren Bell. I don't think I've ever seen Lauren Bell bat before, at least live, I should say.
Okay.
So, I mean, that kind of shows you where things have tended to go between Vipers and Storm over the years. She's gone short, and a swat and a miss from Lauren Bell. Staring back up the pitch in a manner that suggests, yeah, I've clocked that. She's having a smile now, though, to Lindsay Smith, but might just fancy a little bit of revenge later on. Tremendous last over this, just 3 runs off it so far, and the last ball of this Vipers innings. Oh, that's nasty, and there could be a run out here if Wong hits at the non-striker's end but misses. So they scramble through for the leg bye. Could have been all out off the last ball. So the Vipers do see off the 20 overs, but oh, that's got her up high, and I don't know if that didn't just catch a little bit of the helmet as well. It certainly looked as if it was up high on the shoulder and towards the neck area. A really nasty delivery from Wong, who's making it even better by just smirking back up the pitch at Lauren Bell. I'm not sure if she wants to see that at that stage.
Well, we just both looked at that replay and both kind of went in ourselves, and we were always on top of each other's toes then thinking, oh, that looked like that hurt. Destructive bowling by Izzy Wong, and we can see the match summary here as well. Some exceptional bowling figures for Western Storm side.
Even Wong at the end there, she had one expensive over in the power play, but that has really pulled her figures back that last over with the wicket as well. 1 for 27 from 4 overs. And Western Storm, I think, will be delighted with that to keep the Vipers to below 140 on a pitch that doesn't look as if it's got a huge number of demons in. Yes, there was some turn for Wellington in particular, but you would expect there to be a bit more turn for the wrist spinner, and the Southern Vipers, as star-studded a side as they've got, they don't have a wrist spinner. They've got a lot of finger spin with Knott, with Dean, with Smith, with Adams. So spin is going to be vital for their hopes, the Southern Vipers, in terms of winning the match. But will we see quite as much turn? We'll have to find out. But I have to say that as a unit, Storm there, they fielded pretty well. They've taken all their catches, certainly. That's one of the important things that they have done there. And they have restricted the Vipers to under 140. And I'll say it again, they have never beaten the Southern Vipers in the regional setup. Could they do it in their last possible attempt? The lucky purple shirts might just do it for them. We will see. We'll be back in just under 10 minutes' time. Myself, Ed Seaborn, Claire Jenkins and Hannah Thompson-Radford to bring you the Western Storm reply as they need 138 to win.
please welcome back match umpires Fiona Richards and Jack Shantry. The Western Storm opening batters, number 37, Nat Wraith, and number 5, Heather Knight.
Welcome back to Seat Unique Stadium in Bristol. It's doubleheader day, it's family day, it's Purple Day, raising money for the Grief Encounter charity, which helps families deal with a bereavement, children in particular, a cause that is so close to the hearts of everybody at Gloucestershire, thanks to Tom Smith, Gloucestershire men's player and current coach player as well, who was helped and his family through the tragic loss of his wife back in 2018, and this is a great thing to do for him. Both Storm and Gloucestershire wearing purple today, and Western Storm it is in this first half of the doubleheader, looking to chase down 138 to beat the Vipers for the first time in the regional setup, and probably the closest that they came to doing that was in the 50 over fixture earlier this year. So there might be, as Lindsay Smith starts us off here to Nat Wraith, there might be just a few thoughts of this time we're going to finish it off, because they were in a great position to win that 50 over game on this ground earlier in this season, and they just couldn't quite get over the line towards the end. It's going to be tricky though, so much international experience in this Vipers bowling lineup. Smith, Bell, Dean, Elwis, Charlie Knott, surely only a matter of time before she's got some international experience. This is played in the air towards short mid-wicket, and it's half volleyed the fielder, and it will mean that the Western Storm get underway. Ed Seaborn and Claire Jenkins with you for the start of this Storm reply. Anna Thompson-Radford will be along, and we are hoping very much that England's Danny Gibson will be along shortly as well. Heather Knight it is to face. Played respectfully back to the bowler first up. Think back to where it all started. Heather Knight scored a fantastic 67, I think it was, in the first
in the K Super
fixture.
League?
No, the regional setup.
Stuff. Yeah.
She's off the mark here through the leg side, but it's a tidy start from Lindsay Smith, as you would expect. Just 2 runs from the first over. But yeah, in fact, even in that game, that was another one that got away from the Western Storm, and they just have this way of doing that, the Southern Vipers. They need this match, they need to win it, but they just find that formula somehow. Whatever it is, it's a different formula each time seemingly, but whether they need a partnership late on in the innings, when they're batting they so often seem to find that. Now they need wickets. They are really the gold standard for women's regional cricket, and even just off the top of my head there, a couple of times where Western Storm have looked as though they've had them and then Vipers have found a way to fight back. Can they do it again here?
The thing about a side coached by Charlotte Edwards, they know it's not about winning, it's about winning at the right time. And that's certainly what they tend to do, as Lauren Bell from the pavilion end. And that's swiped at but missed. And it's a wide, signalled by umpire Fiona Richards. The other umpire at square leg is Jack Shantry. Scorers are AJ Bull and S. Rees. But of course, both of these teams did have the benefit of the Kia Super League in terms of an identity, so that kind of makes it even more poignant. They both had teams in that setup as well as this one, as Bell, right arm over, banging the ball into the pitch, past the batter, and another wide is signalled. We're at 45 degrees, so we have to wait for the replay to see just how wide that was.
We probably should explain as well, because I know a few people were talking about this in the YouTube chat, in terms of why this is the last game for Western Storm at Bristol. They've got more games to come. They've got 2 to come at the Cheltenham Festival, which should be really exciting. 2 50-over games taking place there. Cardiff, their last T20 match.
Heath plays, that's played backwards of square, by Heather Knight. And there is a single, 3 for no loss.
And Taunton will be the venue for the last 2 50-over matches. But this the last scheduled on this ground where it all began in terms of the regional setup in 2020. But we are moving to a county setup again from next year. Tier 1 counties have been selected, and Gloucestershire are not one of the successful applicants for Tier 1 status, so they will be in the tier below that, which is semi-professional.
Nat Ray top edges that. It's going into a gap though, behind a sort of fine leg really, and they get through for a single. No idea there. The Rihanna Southby's looking over her head and trying to work out where the spin was going to take that ball then, Ed. Yes, you were just saying.
So it does make it really quite poignant, to be honest, today. The fact that this is the last domestic professional women's match on this ground for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, that is poignant. As Bell comes in to Knight, who plays that backwards of square. There is a fielder there, but they're not going to cut that off. There's 4 runs. Heather Knight off Lauren Bell.
It was a really miserly start from Lindsay Smith, giving absolutely nothing away. But so far, Lauren Bell has not had the rhythm that her namesake Lauren Filer had from that end. But a couple of wides, that one's just a half tracker, and to somebody of Heather Knight's quality, that is going to get put away nearly every time. Even with 2 sweepers out on the leg side, she just knew exactly where that gap was.
Yeah, and it races away here, doesn't it, in the outfield? You know this pitch better than I do. Lauren Bell takes a little hitch kick at the beginning into Knight. Dabs that towards Lindsay Smith at the point, but there is no run.
It's the pace off the pitch that you don't always get in order to be able to use how quick the outfield is. We've had a little bit of rain of late, and it's not as though the sun has been scorching it, so it's not as brown as it sometimes is in June here. It can get really hard to field on the outfield as well as just on the square, but it does just get very hard, this outfield, and the ball does fly off it if you can use the pace of it.
Knight plays that to point again, and there is no run. And I've seen we've had some great women's internationals on this pitch as well, so thinking about Atapatu's huge innings in the World Cup,
178.
And then Meg Lanning says, "Hold my coat," goes in and bats and wins the game for the Aussies, and so Atapatu didn't even end up on the winning side with that score. But then
she did the same to Laura Volfart recently, didn't she? 150 for Laura Volfart, and Atapatu. No, that's not good enough. Sorry.
That's dubbed down for no run. Yeah, there's a sort of there is a theme there. Poor old Atapatu getting big runs and then not being the player of the match because not ending up on the winning side. That's the end of the over. 2 overs gone, and Western Storm are 10 without loss.
Great recovery in the end from Bell after that short delivery. Just seemed as though that was maybe the wake-up call after getting crashed for 4, and finished off the over with 3 consecutive dot deliveries.
Yeah, this ground has fond memories for watching international matches. The Test match against India,
Of course.
seeing Julan Goswami. Oh, it was sort of like running in like ballet. Is the best way I can describe it.
Lindsay Smith continuing use of the feet and hitting the air and caught at mid-off. That's a really good catch. It's Georgia Adams yet again. We talked about her with the bat and the ball, but there she is in the field. And if that had been probably, well, let's not say anybody but Georgia Adams, Lauren Bell might have got up there, but a shorter fielder, and I don't think that catch would have been taken. Georgia Adams using her height and taking the catch high above her head really well. And again, trying to use the feet against the spinners and hit down the ground has not proven to be effective this time. Just not quite enough on it from Nat Wraith. So 10 for 1. And Fran Wilson walks out to Bristol, a ground where she'll have such fond memories. I mean, we were talking about previous internationals here, those incredible wins by England on this ground in 2017, World Cup win. This could be, probably will be, realistically, the last time that Fran Wilson bats on this ground.
Oh, he's getting all emotional. Ooh, it is a very poignant day, a very emotional day for Western Storm. Oh, we've got a guest. We've got a guest in her purple kit as well. As Fran Wilson takes her guard to face Lindsay Smith. Oh, it's a big shout. Oh, it's out. That's out. Oh, goodness, I was just looking at our guest then. So we've got a wicket already. Wilson's gone without scoring, unfortunately. Lindsay Smith gets a LBW. Let's have a look at the replay. Left arm round. Smack right in front of middle stump, middle and off. Do you reckon, Danny?
Yeah, I reckon that's pretty plumb.
Are you giving that?
Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't take my word for it though.
Have you done any umpiring?
No.
Oh,
I think I'll get a bit bored actually. I think I'd be the bowler's friend as well.
It's that standing up as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
ages.
It'd be a long day. I wouldn't want to do 4 days.
So welcome, Danny.
Thank you.
She's looking resplendent in a lovely purple shirt.
It's lovely.
Here.
I really love this colour.
Grief Encounters. It's a really nice. They're going to be selling them off for charity, aren't they?
Yeah, heard so. Yeah. Mine's a bit big for me. It could be a dress, but it's lovely.
You know,
yeah.
Dual use. So where have you been? We've been waiting for you.
Sorry, I was just enjoying my crosswords on the bench.
Oh, yes. Did you get them all? Did you finish them all?
Yeah, we did. I had to ask for quite a bit of help, but it's fine. All done now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the sense of completion then?
Yes.
Just before you come in. Excellent. So, Western Storm 10 for 2 into the third over, so still in the power play. We've got Captain Fantastic Sophie Luff come to the crease. She's surveying the landscape here. We've talked a lot about Bristol, but she's on the wall as well. There's a big picture of her, isn't there? She had a big score. I don't remember numbers, but I'm sure Ed will. As Lindsay Smith comes around the wicket. Ooh, I thought there was going to be caught behind then, Danny.
Yeah, she needs to leave that one alone.
That one. Lindsay Smith, another one with a bit of sort of magic tricks in the box, I imagine.
Yeah, she's good, Lindsay Smith. She's a smart cricketer.
Yeah, that's straight to the point field and there's no run.
Oh, buzzers.
Ooh, we've got buzzers.
Lovely.
Oh, we've got a burgled run here already.
She's off the mark.
Off the mark. Have you faced Lindsay Smith much?
Yeah, quite a bit over the years, yeah.
So
Yeah, it's always been a good little competition between us.
I imagine she's pretty wily to face.
Yeah.
All sorts of deliveries. And they're moving the field as well. So Lauren Bell is moving to short third, I think. And is it Lauren Bell? Yes. And a fine leg in place. Lindsay Smith. To Heather Knight. Plays that down. Straight to the fielder, and there is no run. So Hannah pointed out that this is almost an anniversary before you get called up to England. feeling like a proud supporter. I've gone all emotional.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, well, there you are. Look, they didn't even know that. That's played to deep mid wicket. They think about a second, but just take the one. 12 for 2. Say, product of the regional setup. That's what I'm particularly proud of.
Yeah, Western Storm have helped me massively over the years. Obviously, I signed with them in the KSL when I was 16 and been with Trevor Griffin since then. So, yeah, I'm very grateful for Western Storm and giving me my first contract.
That's played down, there is no run. But yeah, I've been commentating. So I started with Central Sparks up at Edgbaston. That's 13 for 2 after 3 overs, if anybody's interested. I started with Central Sparks 5 years ago during COVID. That was my first stint of commentary. And it's just been incredible to see the difference, the professional contracts more and more, because I think people assume that the professional contract thing has been in for years and years, but actually even now there's still people on like summer contracts and stuff. Not everyone's full-time, some people are students and all the rest of it, but the amount of contact time you must be getting with the coaching staff and the support staff, and seeing each season the jump in the performance has been brilliant.
Yeah, it is so good that we get all this contact time.
Knight to face, plays that to point, and there is no run.
I think you can also tell by the games that happen, each team's obviously getting better and better and the scores are getting higher and higher with the bat, and it's just way more competitive and anyone could win a game. I think it used to be very Vipers are going to win majority, but I think every other region pretty much is coming in now and asking questions, and that's just because we've got the support that we've got now.
I noticed with the 50 over the Rachel Hayo, there's still really close games. You think after 50 overs it's still down to the final over as Bell comes in to Heather Knight, who just dabs that down. There is no run. Yeah,
no, it's super exciting that we're getting all these contracts, and hopefully with this whole Project Darwin thing it just pushes that on.
Yeah, we're going to be Tier 1 counties next year, so this region has Somerset looming large for next season, and the Vipers will be Hampshire, I think, at least theoretically. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in between as Bell hitch kicks in. Heather Knight waggling a bat. Plays that behind square. She's going to get runs for that. I don't think she's necessarily meaning it to go exactly there, but she knew there was a gap, so that's another 4 to the total.
We'll take the runs.
Yeah, 17 for 2. Because we were talking on commentary a bit earlier about both of these teams were Kia Super League teams, so you've got that sense of momentum as well, and a kind of sense of heritage, if you like, from that. So it does make it extra poignant. Last game at Bristol for professional women at the moment, for foreseeable and all the rest of it. Ed's getting all unnecessary. It's getting very emotional about that.
Yeah, I think we're all a bit. I don't know whether sad's the right word, but we're just like last year playing as Western Storm. I think it is quite a big year for us, and we want to do the name proud.
Yeah, as Knight plays that to point. Underneath Lindsay Smith, they're going to get a run for that at least. They are just over Rihanna Southby, testing not the tallest of wicket keepers, should we say, straight overhead, but they just get the one. 18 for 2, approaching the end of the fourth over, still in the power play. So fielding restrictions in place for the 25-yard circle with the women's game, 30-yard circle in the men's game, and the numbers inside out and outside of that circle are different for both games, as Lauren Bell decides what she's going to serve to Captain Fantastic Sophie Love. Banged in. Almost beats Luff and Southby on the way through.
Definitely don't think she meant that one to go there.
And that's one for the over, I think she's given her, says Fiona Richards. There's all sorts going on there. What's going on there?
Carnage. She's still in though, that's amazing.
Yeah. Excellent. Bit of a grim day here at Bristol, but we're hoping for sunshine.
It started lovely.
Yeah, it did. Because we were worried about sun cream and stuff being out. We were on a balcony, I should explain, in the sun if it comes out as Bell comes into Knight, who has a swing round on. Was it Luff? Knight swings round on that one. We get 4 runs and it's 4 wides, so loads more to the total there. 19 for 2. So what's the feeling in the camp then? What's the vibe?
Yeah, it's good, I think. Obviously, it's been a couple of tough games for Storm. We've not had the start that we wanted, but the girls, the spirits are high, and we're keeping believing that we can win a few games and come back stronger. So yeah, it's been nice to be around the group today. It's been a while since I've been in, so it's been nice.
Yeah, back to family, back to home roots, as it were. Bell in tonight, who plays that rather nicely to mid-wicket, but straight to her, so there's no run. That's the end of the over. 4 overs gone, 24 for 2 are Western Storm in their not usual purple, but playing against the Vipers in the field in their very useful orange.
Yeah.
You know, everyone, you can see the Vipers supporters, can't you, from miles away, that vibrant orange. So would you, as a team, Western Storm, would you say 50 overs or 20 overs is the one, or is it just dependent on the game?
I think T20 is probably more suited to our players. We've not got a lot of experience. We're quite young, so I think being able to play T20 and quicker game and anything can happen. I think that's more of our more bit of us more
chance to win a bit more with the T20. Perhaps it's a bit more fickle format, I guess. So it can be, if you get a run, get some good runs and wickets and stuff, you can eke a wicket out. That was a dot ball. 24 for 2. Lindsay Smith coming around. Oh, bless you, from somebody behind us. Big sneeze as Sophie Love plays that to long on, and just a single. 25 for 2. And of course, England's gain is Western Storm's loss when you go up for international duty, and Lauren Filer and Heather Knight.
Yes.
Yeah, which is a good problem to have, I suppose, in terms of producing players for England.
Shot.
That's kind of, look at that, straight through that gap there.
We're
looking along the line of that as Heather Knight just picks the gap right between those two fielders there at cover and extra cover. 4 runs to Heather Knight, 4 more to the total.
Yeah, I mean we've recruited quite well, getting Ellie Anderson in and Izzy Wong.
Yeah, sparks.
It's been, literally.
We lent you,
Yeah, it's been good to have them while me and Filer have been away, especially with the seaming options. We haven't got massively, but now we've got too many to pick from.
Yeah.
Filer bowled really well today as well.
Yes, great overs. And that's worked into the leg side by Heather Knight to mid-wicket, and they get through for a single. 30 for 2. Yeah, young side. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? With the sort of, now the core of the England players going away and coming back, and it's nice to see the guys. But Amy Jones is back for Central Sparks yesterday as Sophie Love tries to work that past point, but there's no run.
Yeah, it is nice to be able to come back in and see the team and give knowledge and help out and just see how our younger players are getting on, and then when we're away it gives the younger players opportunity to show what they can do. Yeah,
somebody's loss is another person's gain in that sense, isn't it? There's no run there. That's the end of the over. 5 overs gone. 1 more over of the power play then, but to go. And Western Storm are 30 for 2. You're listening to the voices of Danny Gibson, England player and Western Storm star, and Claire Jenkins, former Somerset. I think I'm getting tapped on the shoulder. Right, well, it's been lovely, Danny.
Yes.
I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Hannah Thompson-Radford, former Somerset player. Yes. So we're Western Stormers, really.
Hello. How's it going?
Yeah, it's good. Lovely little view here.
It is, isn't it? Don't you feel like where we are though feels like a bit of a dance podium? It feels a bit like we should be the entertainment over it. It's like street.
A nice stool might be nice next time. I don't know how you'd stand for too long.
Yeah, there is a slight chair, but you have to speak to Jono about that and tell him.
Get on him.
Tell him his setup isn't quite right. So what's your thoughts this stage of the game? 5 overs gone.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to do anything too silly. Like they didn't get a massive score. The pitch is good. The feedback from the girls said that it was a good pitch. So as long as we keep our wickets, don't lose too many, should be okay.
Yep, delivery from Dean races away. 4 runs, must have come off the toe of the bat. We'll see it on the replay there. It looked like she got a sliver onto it. Let's have a look.
Oh yeah.
Very nicely played. And Danny Gibson, 360 player. Lots of those kind of shots in your locker.
Yeah, I think Heather's really good at manipulating the field to what she wants to get from it.
Vipers go up with heel. Quick hands from Southby there, but Knight well in her crease.
Southby's a great keeper, actually. She's done really well. She did really well last year in the 100 especially.
But yeah, as you were mentioning about manipulating the field and playing those kind of creative shots.
Yeah, well, there's no square leg now, so I can imagine Heather will be eyeing that up, but she's got the 4-way early. I think a lot of batters like to in T20 get a 4-ball away early, and then we can play the rest of the over quite easily. Oh, there it is. And it's gone.
Called expertly from Danny Gibson here. So Knight with another boundary to her score. We'll see the replay. Talk us through what she did.
Yeah. Well, she's just got across the line of the ball there and she's been able to sweep it. It's a great shot, actually, especially as that square legs had moved to 45 and now they've moved that deep mid-wicket to square. I don't think she'll be trying to do too much rest this over. She'll just be working the ball on its merit.
That's exactly what she does on the next delivery from Dean. Dean to Knight. Bit more pace to practice. Well, airily it's gone straight 1-2, 3 bounces across the rope. Another beautiful boundary from the England captain, Heather Knight. Moves her score on to 29. Western Storm 42-42.
Yeah, this is a great last over of the power play for us, actually. Get us our run rate up a little bit.
As you say, it's very composed, isn't it? She knows exactly what she's doing.
Yeah.
We've got Ed Seaborn in the back dancing. I can't even say your name anymore. Junkie, there we go. Junkie dancing in the background. But it's a very different position where we are today. And it's very much in with the crowd, isn't it? You can hear the music. It's a little bit distracting. As Dean comes in once more, and this time it's hit neatly off the legs. 1 run taken. Bringing up the end of the power play. 43-2 for Western Storm. Knight on 30 from just 22 deliveries. Luff free from 7.
Heather's got a single off the last ball and hogged the strike.
There we go. And that's what you kind of want from your England player, especially. And thoughts on Luff? Right, because obviously she is the gel of the team. She's the anchor.
Yeah.
Some criticism in terms of she can be a bit slow to get going, but when she gets going, she obviously accelerates and she performs really well from the Storm. But what has she been working on? How has she been adapting her game to a T20 format?
I think it's hard for Luff because, like you said, she is the anchor and we do rely on her a lot. And I think she's coming a lot recently and she's had to be the anchor and really stick it out and make she doesn't want to lose a wicket. She's caught up. You can see by the end of the game, if she's had a good innings, she'll be ahead of the ball strike rate. So yeah, I don't agree with the criticism for Luff. She's a great batter and she does a really good job for the team. Shot.
This time swept backwards again by Knight. Another boundary to her total.
She is loving a sweep today.
She certainly is. But yeah, no, as you mentioned, I think the criticism as well is more constructive than negative as such, I guess, in terms of how the T20 game has really adapted, especially across the last kind of 5 years with this regional structure.
I think that if Storm had got off to a flyer and Luff came in and she needed to carry on the momentum, then she'd be fine, but we've actually not been in that many situations yet this season, so she's had to play a different role and she's done it well for us.
It's not. Comes in for her second delivery of the over. Knight strikes it away 4-1. But as you mentioned, she has been so crucial over the years. And her game is, as you mentioned, getting better and better. And adapting to those different roles that she has to take on. Yeah. But who else has been impressing you behind the scenes? Who's been somebody that we should keep an eye on?
I think Nat Rafe has actually done really well this season. Her batting's improved loads, especially in the 50 over stuff. She batted really nicely where she came in and just played the game how she just plays the game. I think that's the key thing for her, is just keeping it simple and making sure that she doesn't try and do anything different. She's not been as successful in T20s, but she's batting in a completely different role. So, yeah, she's done really well so far.
Top ball. Good bit of fielding from Elvis.
Wello's obviously been great for us as well. bringing out like experience of spin and knowing how to play the game. It's really helped out our young spinners, especially like Smaley and Scouts. They've had some like good conversations, and I think it's really helped their games.
Yeah, it seems that Sophia Smell's been in on all the action today and previous matches as well, hasn't she?
Yeah, she loves it.
I was gonna say, does she love these big game kind of moments with double headers especially? She always, cheering and, waving to the crowd with her celebrations.
Yeah, she does love the big games.
Luff did well to see that one out. Kind of stumbled over a little bit, but managed to get it out. 3 from 10. As we mentioned, can be slow to start, but when she gets going, she gets that rhythm.
Yeah.
And they need to build a partnership, these two, don't they? They need to get that platform built.
Yeah, but like I said, there's nothing drastic needed to happen. They just need to keep ticking over, scoring the runs. If Heather's getting the runs at the other end, then Luff doesn't need to worry too much.
The perfect balance. Rotates the strike. Oh! And that is the end of the over. Western Storm 49 for 2 from 7. Knight 35 from 24. Luff 4 from 11. Run rate is at 7 and the required run rate is 6.85. So they are ahead at the minute. See on the run rate chart there.
Yeah, we're going well. We just need to keep it up. Nothing needs to change here, really. Purple's working for us.
Yeah, how do you feel about the purple?
Yeah, I love it. I really like it.
Yeah.
I want to keep it, but it's getting auctioned off, sadly.
Do you have to sign it and it all gets...
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Which will be great for the cause.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've matched your shirt. Was that on purpose, or...?
Kind of. I saw it and I was a bit like, oh, am I meant to wear purple to a match or am I not? So I was like, I'm just going to wear it anyway.
Yeah, no, it looks great.
And hope, thank
Matched
you.
with us all.
Well, yeah, I do try.
Proper Storm fan.
Well, West Country girl. As Adams comes in to Luff. These two played a lot of cricket between them and against one another. Rotate the strike, so Knight's on strike here.
Storm 50 comes up in the 8th over.
And as you probably heard in the background there, that is the 50 for the Western Storm. So how are you feeling? This is, not a controversial question, but how are you feeling, obviously, this last time here for Western Storm, and obviously there's going to be plenty of other matches as Adams comes in for Western Storm, but it is going to be kind of the end of an era. How are you feeling about it all?
Yeah, I was just saying earlier, I think we're just not sad, but just want to do our best for the Western Storm name this last season. We won't be called it next year, so I think we're just trying to have fun, be the best we can be.
Luff uses her feet, chips away as you mentioned, just for 1.
But Bristol's been great. We train here majority of the winter, and they've been great accommodating us and really helping us out. So yeah, it is a shame that we're not going to be able to play here and train here. But I think it will be a good move to Taunton.
Adams tonight. Again, good rotation from the batter. They're not doing anything too tricky here. As you mentioned, they're keeping it nice and composed, trickling it the scoreboard over.
Yeah, there's that big enough gaps for them to just work it round.
Left on strike, uses her feet, chips over the top of the infield again. We're going to look for 2. Get sent back by Heather Knight. But Luff is so quick, isn't she?
Yes, her feet just move so quickly. They just stab the floor. It's so weird, but she is rapid. It's very loud as well, actually. It's like an elephant when you're out there. The ground shakes.
It's absolutely savage to your captain. I was going to say, tell us more.
Shot.
And that's gone for 4. We'll have a look on the replay here. I was slightly distracted by the elephant feet. Splits the field. 4 runs. And these tunes are also really distracting.
Yeah, I really want to sing along, but I can't.
Give it a go if you want. You've got the microphone there. It's a bit of a Britney Spears headset, right?
Ready to perform.
58 for 2, Western Storm off their 8. But you've given us a bit of inside information there about Luff and her running. But what else goes on? Give us the juicy insights that people at home listening in.
Oh gosh, I don't really know off the top of my head.
If something happens in a match and you think, that's, Mention it.
Okay.
Enlighten us with all what goes on in and around Western Storm. It's like, because people love that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
People want to know who you are beyond the pitch, of course.
Oh, lovely shot. Worked that perfectly there. Exactly what she meant to do.
Was there a sense of irony in that?
They're the best kind of runs.
So we'll have a look on the replay here. So
Great placement by Luff.
Squeaked behind for a boundary, bringing up the 50 partnership between Luff and Knight. Getting into her rhythm a bit more, finding the boundary. Typical Luff shot off the legs for a quick single. Elephant feet stomping, is it? Or I can't believe you said
Surprised you can't feel it up here.
that. I mean, the floor did shake, but no. I never knew that, to be fair. I never heard.
Well, it's just because her feet move so quickly and they like slam the ground, so then everything just like boom, boom, boom.
Maybe boom, boom, boom would have been better to describe it than
Oh well.
As Dean comes in tonight.
I've said worse about her to her face.
Oh, is this for controversial content there? No, you've got a positive relationship with your captain.
Absolutely.
I've heard she sings your praises.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to speak to her last year and to your family ahead of your England debut.
Oh yes.
For BBC Sport. Dino comes in. You had a lovely chat with your dad, actually.
Oh, he loves a chat.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yes.
And your brothers? Got to speak to your brothers?
Yeah, I think actually on that article, my brother's called Greg and Jacob.
Yeah, that wasn't my fault, just to clarify.
He got called something else. I can't remember what it was, but it's really funny, and now it's just stuck a little bit.
This is a new nickname I heard.
Yeah. I can't remember what it is, though.
.64 for 2 here in Bristol. One ball of Dean's over to Gum. 4-1-1 ... from it so far. Luff on strike. And it's given Charlie Dean with a dismissal of Luff. 12 from 18. LBW. We'll see it on the replay. What's your thoughts, Danny Gibson?
Yeah. I think it looks out. Looks pretty straight. Yeah, it's a shame. But we've got Amanda Wellington coming in now, so she can hit a ball.
She certainly can. And she was lower down the order at the start of this competition, and we were kind of wondering why, because she came in and won innings against the South East Stars and hit, I think it was 3 sixes, and we were like, oh, we need you sooner.
Yeah, I think she has done a very good job for us, like hitting the ball hard. But she has in recent games actually built good innings, and I think that it's better that she's coming higher up in the order now and showing what she can do. She's been great with the ball, and hopefully now she can be great with the bat.
Yeah, exactly.
She got a new tattoo the other day.
What'd she get?
A stormtrooper.
Did she?
Yeah, she gets tattoos of like all the teams that she plays for, so she's now got a store. It's quite big actually as well. It's on her forearm.
Oh, so she's got like a sleeve on the go, right? Or is it building up to one? Or
it's not a sleeve.
Quite.
She's got a leg sleeve full of Pokemon, and then her arms are like just different random ones.
So did any of you go with her to get it done? Or?
No. No.
No.
But it actually looks really nice. I actually quite like it. But I thought it'd be like a little tiny one, but it's a big boy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we'll try and get a view of that at some point. Yeah, I had my first tattoo the other day.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, a little bit basic. Just got a rose for my daughter because her birthday's in June. But
that's nice.
Very basic. But now I want more. As Lauren Thel comes in tonight on strike. Dot ball.
Must have hit the foot or something.
Yeah, we were just pausing for a moment to see what happened because Georgia Adams kind of went out for looked interested. No one else did. Thought it was slightly wide, but got a bit of shape to it. Bell in her third over here. Knight guides it out in the deep for a single. Wellington will face her first delivery of the innings. You're mentioning tattoos. You mentioned Fluffy's running. What other insights have you got? So how was it when Amanda Jade Wellington kind of first came into a group? Were you around, or were you with England at the time?
I think I missed her first week, and then I came back for the second week.
Bell to Wellington, short, hits over the top, edged backwards, and will get off the mark with a boundary. Nice way to start. Yeah.
I think I spoke to some of the girls and just made sure she was settling in okay, messaged her, and I think is easy to fit in most places, to be fair. She's chatty, so yeah, I think the girls have enjoyed having her around. It's nice that she's living in Bristol as well. Good area to live.
Because have you just moved in with Nat Rafe, or you're going to move
Alex
in?
Griffiths. Yeah.
I've been given the wrong information.
We moved in this week.
Was it this week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Moved in Tuesday. She moved in Wednesday. It's been a bit chaotic doing all the DIY.
Belle looks interested. Umpire keeps her hands down. So moving in together.
Yes.
What DIY have you got to do?
We made an IKEA, chest of drawers, has 8 drawers, so it's like a big boy, and I've realised that if we do DIY, I just need to keep checking that Griff's doing the right thing, because we had to strip it down because she'd put the wrong thing the wrong way round. So it took us 3 days actually to make that, but it's done now.
I'm glad it's done as Belle comes in.
I did use a drill yesterday for the first time, and to put my house number and name up, Wells Road, and it's wonky. But it doesn't look awful. You can't tell unless you're right up close. But I used a drill for the first time, and I think I did quite a good job. So I take it.
At least it's not back to front.
Yeah,
it could be worse.
Yeah, that's true. It's my house. I can do what I want.
It's a fast England seamer comes in. A beautiful shot from Knights.
Yeah, she's come back well here, Lauren Bow, bowling some nice areas.
So how's it been? Obviously, almost a year anniversary to your England debut. How has the last year been?
Yeah, it's been great. I didn't expect to get called up last year for the Ashes, so I was just buzzing to be a part of it, and to play in the T20s was great.
Spell tonight, a little bit shorter, flicked away. They're going to look for 2, but I don't think it will be.
The girls are great, and the coaches are really good, so I've really enjoyed my time, and it's nice to be there with Lauren Filer as well. We're really close, so it's nice to experience it together and have each other in the team.
End of the over. Western Storm 71 for 3, Wellington on 5 and Knight on 44. We can have a look on the screen now as well and see the wagon wheel. So halfway stage and on track.
Yeah, we're doing well so far.
68 from 60 balls, 7 wickets in hand.
Hopefully Heather just keeps going as she is, and Wello can help out with the odd boundary.
This would be a really good upset, wouldn't it? Because obviously the odds are kind of stacked against Western Storm in terms of the history between the two sides. So this would be a brilliant moment to hear today, to get that first win against the Vipers, who are multiple champions within the Charlotte Edwards Cup, and cause a bit of chaos in the table.
Yeah, I think if we can get a win here today, then it will really push us on to wanting more wins, hopefully.
Lindsay Smith, the bowler here now. Yeah, because obviously in terms of kind of performances, Western Storm have had some brilliant performances but just haven't quite recorded the wins. So how has it been within that kind of locker room, etc., in terms of maintaining that positivity and that believability that you can go on to win matches like these?
Yeah, I do believe that if you as a team know how to win, it massively helps. So I think in those situations where it's been down to the last couple of overs and we haven't got over the line, I do generally think it's because we're such a young team and we just don't know how to win. And normally the opposition, they know how to win and go about. I think we just sometimes lack a bit of game smartness, which is totally fine because we are a young team and they're all learning, and it's just we're going to need to do those scenarios to get better and learn from them next time. So hopefully when they do occur, we can get over the line.
3 dot balls from Smith so far. Or 2, sorry, can't count. But yeah, no, as you mentioned it, Storm are a young side. What is a measure of success for Storm? Because
that's a great question.
Yeah, because what we've said about it on kind of the live stream and stuff is like, actually, yes, it's brilliant to win trophies, etc. But if you look at how yourself and Lauren Filer have gone on and pushed and broken into the England squad, surely that's a sign of success for the whole team here as well.
Yeah, I think if we're producing England players, then that is massively successful to the region and what we're doing as a team. Shot. Is that going to run away? I think it is. Yeah, all the way over the boundary for 4. Lovely little. It's not really a sweep. It's kind of a switch hit, but reverse hit over the fielders in the ring.
Yeah, but see it on the replay here. So yeah, talk us through it when it comes up.
She's good at those reverse hits. She's gone early. Probably didn't get a hold of it as much as she wanted to, but it's still done a job and run away for 4.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful, creative, putting the pressure back onto the bowler, right?
Yeah, she's done well there. To get a little 4 away at the end of the over is always great.
Yeah, only 5 from Smith's over. Started with 4 dot deliveries. 2 for 16 from her 4 overs. And in terms of kind of matchups, people talk about that quite a lot. What are the kind of matchups that you guys would have discussed before the match? How you're going to approach particular players, etc. Is there any good kind of rivalries that we should be keeping an eye out here?
I just think Vipers versus Storm is just generally quite a big rivalry for us because they always win. I wasn't actually in the team meeting yesterday, so I'm not sure what was said. But yeah, we just go through analysis and pick out any bowlers that we might want to target, and batters, just most ways of dismissal.
Charlie Knott, we have cap on, bowling to Wellington. Uses her feet and it's edged up in the air. The fielder is there and it should be taken. A bit of an ugly shot.
Yeah, I think just got the top edge of that and caught by Freya Kemp at 45.
You can see on the replay here, tried to use her feet, tried to sweep it away, but finds the edge and it ends up into the hands of Freya Kemp. She has to depart for 9. A good wicket for Southern Vipers. We've seen how destructive Amanda Jade Wellington can be.
Yeah, it might have not been a shot that we needed, but we've got Niamh Holland coming in now. Coming for Alex Griffiths this game, so hopefully she can have a good day with the bat.
Yeah, under 19s World Cup player. So I think she's got the first half century in that competition, or at least for England in that competition. But struggled a little bit this season, would you say? She's had a bit of a difficult one, hasn't quite found her form yet?
Yeah, I know that she worked really hard over the winter and she went somewhere with it, and I think just coming into the games, it's hard when there's the pressure and you want to do well. I think sometimes players can forget what they've worked on in the winter, so I think we're just trying to nail that back into her and get her focusing. I think she could be a really good T20 bowler. Like, she's got variations, she's got loads of different stuff to offer. It's just for her doing it out there on the pitch. She's been playing a bit of seconds cricket to help her get that confidence.
She'll be facing her first delivery against Knott. She's getting sent back by Knight. Probably a wise decision. Just keep you cool.
Heather didn't fancy that one.
Nothing too risky. Yeah, again, she's one of those players who was very young and merging into the scene. I think making her county debut at just kind of 12, 13. Misses Charlie Knott's delivery there.
Yeah, in the women's game, we just everyone makes their debut for counties and stuff so young. But we have been playing for years, and then obviously the professional game is pretty new. So, and it is so different going from playing for age group county and then coming into Western Storm. It's a big adjustment, and I think Niamh, she's been doing really well, and we're just going to keep pushing her on because she could be so good.
That's what you mentioned earlier, you are a young side, so getting that experience is really crucial as she uses her feet and gets off the mark with a single. Yeah, it is about building that experience up, and it's the question of, what was this regional competition meant to be about? Was it about development, or was it about kind of commercialisation and whatever that kind of conversation is? But if it is meant to be about development, surely the regional competition has done that, right?
Yeah, definitely. It gives the opportunity to players, and they're being exposed to high pressure games and high pressure situations, and it's only going to help them in the long run and us as a team.
Knight on 46 takes the score to 47 with a single. Whereas now we're going into that new era of that more professionalisation, commercialisation, and emphasis on the commercial side of the game. End of the over. Western Storm 84 for Knight on 47 from 39 deliveries. Holland 1 from 3. But yeah, as we were kind of just saying, we're going into that kind of new era now where it is more kind of, about marketing the sport a bit more and being more like an athlete brand. And I thought you're doing a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I am going to start one up actually. My friend has a business called Press Upload, and we're going to do a little collaborate, and she's going to edit my videos for me, and yeah, just try and get what we do, like you said, behind the scenes, and show what happens in an athlete's life, and just get it out there, and hopefully people can enjoy it from loads of different aspects.
It is, isn't it? Is that more kind of potential sponsorship opportunities with that?
Yeah, I think it's just like building a personal brand. Like, I'm not just a cricketer. Like, there's other parts of me, and I think that's what the public, like, especially young girls, they want to know what you're getting up to. So yeah, just showing parts that you don't often see.
Nice. Gets a single off Dean. Moves her score to 48. How do you feel as a batter when you get, close to the 50s? Because I've never done it in my life, so I wouldn't know what it feels like.
I guess it is quite nerve-wracking. I think once you've done it a couple of times, that Heather will
I wouldn't know that.
Thinking about it. Yeah, I guess like 48, 49 is always the nervous ones, but you just got to keep playing how you've been playing, otherwise you are probably going to get out.
Holland facing up to Dean. Finds the fielder. Adams in close. No run. Yeah, because for you guys, you're getting 50s easy or whatever, but, for us up here, we're getting like, white line fever, and we're like, are they going to do it? Are they not? Are you thinking about individual totals, or are you thinking more about the team total?
Well, I hope the team total.
That's swiped.
I hope Heather's not just playing for a 50 here. I'm sure she won't be. She'll she knows that there's nothing drastic needs to happen, so she's just working the ball around where it can go, and she might get a nice little 50 alongside it.
We'll see what she can do with this next delivery. It's swiped backwards, but a fielder is there. Nancy Harmon picks it up. And we'll just get one, and then she goes on to that nervous 49. Is it nervous 49? What's that what we call it? What do we call it? 49 just is an awkward number, isn't it?
She'll be alright. Heather's quite calm.
Yeah, she's got plenty of them in her locker, hasn't she? She doesn't need any of the accolades.
I'm surprised actually she's not really done a reverse sweep today. It's normally her go-to shot.
We may see one on the next delivery, who knows? But we won't, because that's the end of the over. Western Storm 84 for 4 from 13 overs, Knight on 49 and Holland on 3, and she'll have the strike. Georgia Adams coming on to bowl. Thoughts on Georgia Adams bowling?
What do you mean?
What's it like to face her? And because obviously at the start of this kind of regional competition, she was not expecting to bowl whatsoever. She was not known as a bowler, and her story was, she rocked up to training one day, Charlotte Edwards was there, and on the bowling sheet was her name, and she was like, Lottie, what's going on? And then all of a sudden has become from a part-time bowler to an all-rounder. It's Holland on a strike. Yeah,
she's done well, Gads, actually. She had really good couple of seasons in the 100, and yeah, she's quite hard to. She's just so accurate. I think that's, you don't get massively like accurate. Oh dear, it's safe.
Edged up into the air, but it does find a safe spot. Gets off strike. Knight.
Yeah, it's just very accurate, and I think the batter's got to do something to be able to get it away, which is what makes it. You can't just be playing it thinking, I'll get a loose ball here, because most often she doesn't actually do that. So It's just trying to play it. To me, I just think don't go back to her because she's very skiddy. So just trying to hit it up the ground, high up the ground. Hopefully it was what Neve will be thinking here. Oh, it's Heather.
They're probably
49.
Yeah, both thinking it. As Adams comes in tonight, fielder coming quite close. And she finds the gap, and she beats 2 fielders. The ball's racing away. There's 3 fielders chasing after it. It is slowing up, so it's not going to go away for a boundary. But they're going to come back for free.
Good running.
Excellent running from Western Storm. And that does bring up her 50 for Western Storm. The England captain having an absolutely stellar knock here in Bristol. 52 runs on the board. Handshake with Neve Holland at the other end there.
Yeah, she's batted really well in that 50. Got us off to a great start in the power play and just carried it on throughout.
Yeah, 52 from 43 deliveries. 51 minutes, strike rate of 120, 8 fours, yet to find a 6.
Not good enough.
If we're going to be critical. No, an absolutely composed knock. Adams to Holland, uses her feet. Will rotate the strike.
Might look for 2 here. Not to Mona's arm.
She's an excellent fielder, isn't she?
Very good, yeah. As soon as I see her
the 100, right?
Ball, yeah.
You would have been teammates.
Yeah, as soon as I see her field the ball, I'm like, yeah, you just stay there. Don't worry about it.
Because I feel that Alice Monaghan is sometimes underrated or overlooked, perhaps.
Yeah, I think she's her bowling has come on massively from working with Chris Liddell during the 100, and then I think she's been working on it at Vipers as well. That's just running away. Picked up by Lauren Bow at deep cover.
Yeah, I think she's got so much potential, hasn't she, Alice Monaghan? And she's still relatively young as well.
Yes, she is. She's actually quite quick.
Yeah.
Her arm speed's so fast. She's got a great bullet arm, and then when she bowls it, she bowls a heavy ball, and it could be really useful.
As Adams tonight absolutely whacks that back, but finds Maya Boucher in the deep. Just 1 run. So you're going to be shooting off in a second. So what's your kind of final bit of insight, final bit of gossip, any rumours? Where are you going next year?
Rumours?
Have you signed a contract?
I haven't got any rumours to offer.
No, have you got any final insight in all seriousness? Any final comments on how you're feeling Western Storm are, what position they are in right now? Are they going to record their first win against the Vipers? What do you think?
I think if we keep going like we are, we should be absolutely fine. I think Heather's really setting us up well here. If she bats through them, I think we've definitely got it in the bag. We've got some good depth, and we just need to we don't need to do anything silly and just keep playing those balls. So yeah, just want to say thanks to all the fans for supporting Western Storm over the years, and hopefully you'll be listening when we're a new team.
Oh, and that is the departure of Danny Gibson. Thank you very much, Danny.
Thanks, guys.
Some brilliant insight from Danny Gibson, and it's going to be the return of Ed Seaborn.
Well, we've got Danny out of the glare of the sort of tabloid paparazzi journalists next to us here.
I would just like to clarify, I was joking.
Oh, bold. She's gone back as Holland trying to pull the ball away, and Charlie Dean has struck, and Western Storm lose their 5th wicket. Neve Holland has gone for 5, and that partnership, which didn't really have too much of a chance to develop. She's tried to move across to the offside and help the ball away fine, but couldn't get any bat on it, and it means that Izzy Wong comes to the crease, and be interesting to see how Wong looks to play this. Does she just think, well, Knight's there, Knight's going to try and bat to the end, so maybe actually my job is to try and hit boundaries, and so take the pressure off Knight at the other end?
Yeah, absolutely. We mentioned it about Freya Kemp, but in the first innings, similar to for Wong, she is one of those players who is either go big, go home, isn't she? She's somebody who doesn't stick around long, but when she gets going, she really gets going. It's one of 2 options for Wong. She can hit a ball. We saw it in the WPL, etc. I think she hit a 6 off her first delivery, and that was a 600% strike rate. Doesn't happen very often, obviously. Yeah. But she is a phenomenal striker of the ball if she gets going. And that's key, and she's facing up to Charlie Dean.
Oh, she's gone too. Bowled first ball. Charlie Dean's on a hat-trick, the second time in the match that we've seen 2 in 2. And for Wong, it was a short stay at the crease, and that is a classic bit of off-spin bowling. They have suddenly started bowling the ball much slower the last few overs, particularly the Vipers off-spin bowlers. That is some real loop, and it just gets that grip, turns through the gate, and Wong out for a first bowler. And Storm, well, more and more seem to be looking as though they're relying on Heather Knight to win this game for them.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Sophia Smell coming in now, and she's got a huge role to play here at Bristol. Storm 93 for 6. They were looking so good at the halfway point. It's 70 for just a couple wickets, and now all of a sudden 93 for 6. 45 runs or 33 balls required. 4 wickets in hand. Dean on a hat-trick. Ball.
I mean, it's still not wild in terms of the run rate required. However, Storm are running out of batters, although they do have their 50-over opener in now in Smale for the hat-trick ball. And it's not going to be a hat-trick, but it's also not going to be a run. And it's funny how these two innings have really mirrored each other quite a lot in terms of runs scored and the wickets taken. Smale once again will not find a gap on the onside. After this over, the Southern Vipers were 97 for 6, having scored just 18 runs since over number 10. And Western Storm are on track to do something fairly similar. Oh, she's trying to dance about in her crease there is Smale, but Dean is too wily to be put off by that. And what a tremendous over that is. 2 wickets, and it finishes with 3 dot deliveries. We'll say goodbye for the time being to Anna Thompson-Radford, and Claire Jenkins will be back alongside shortly. Just to let you know what's going on elsewhere. This match, a really important one for the Vipers. They kind of have to have it if they're going to keep their noses in front as far as qualifying for the top 4, who will make finals day. And looking at the game between the South East Stars and the Central Sparks, Sparks 41 for 3 in the 7th over, chasing 123 to win. They're one of the Vipers' closest rivals. Oh, wow. That's gone right through everything. Reverse attempted as Charlie Knott's come into the attack. Now, I think initially that was maybe called wide, but then the... it looked as though the bowler was pointing out to the umpire the fact that the reverse was attempted, and so it couldn't be a wide, and so it's not been signalled as one.
Fair enough.
Smale hitting in the air over the top of mid-off. Now, will it skip onto the rope? It is quite a hard outfield, but it was more of a wedge than anything from Sophia Smale, but still a good shot to clear Adams at mid-off, and it brings a welcome couple of runs. But now close to 9s in terms of that required rate. And Knott again bowling so slowly through the air, giving them nothing off this pitch. Just a single can be taken.
We're going to have an exciting finish here, I think, Ed, aren't we?
Looks that way, especially if Heather Knight is there at the end. I think if Knight goes now,
Harder
does
task.
look, very dangerous for Western Storm. They'd need somebody to play a real blinder down the order. Round the corner, that one goes though, and that is what Heather Knight can do. The 100 comes up for the Western Storm, and a boundary, which means that this over so far has conceded 8 runs, and we're only 4 balls into it.
This is what Western Storm needed, just to give a little bit of a boost at this stage.
To say that is a delivery that Charlie Knott would like back. Way down the leg side, and with short fine leg up especially. Not really giving anybody much of a chance. was a ball which just allows Storm to breathe slightly easier. And Knight targeting that leg side, but will only pick up one to deep mid-wicket. And it's that slog sweep that she has that you just feel she so rarely gets out to it by holing out. If she's going to hit the ball, it's tending when she plays it to be either a single to the sweeper or she finds one of those gaps.
Yep. Doing a bit of swifty round in the field here. Georgia Adams coming out to the rope at long off.
Yes, they saw Smale loft that 2 over mid-off, so now everybody up, apart from long off on the offside. That's a full toss, though. Smale tries to strike it down the ground, but doesn't really get the timing. And that completes a good over for the Western Storm. They do still need 35 from the remaining 4, but that green worm has just ticked up a bit after it was levelling off, and you can see that period between 10 and 15. Yeah. Particularly between probably about 12 and 15, just running so parallel to each other. And in the early stages as well, this has been such an even contest throughout. Can Heather Knight do what Georgia Adams did and provide the couple of boundaries at the end to get Western Storm over the line?
Yes, that's the question, isn't it? Delivery's running out, but we're going to have a close game, which I think possibly on paper we might not have predicted before the game started, so this is great for the Bristol audience here on Family Day. Gads coming in from the far end. It's up in the air. There is a fielder underneath it. She's going to catch it. Oh, it's a low. Yes, it's a low catch. Great low catch from Maya Boucher there at long on to dismiss Smale for 4 of the 6 that she's faced. And that's a great catch because she had to cover quite a lot of ground. Let's see how far. It's lofted well in the air by Smale. Oh yes, gets it sort of ankle height, but a great catch. Maya Boucher, it's sort of trademark Maya Boucher catch, isn't it? Covering a lot of ground in and then great technique there. Soft hands for the catch. So yeah, that's what I just said. And so this brings Skelton to the crease to bat with England captain Heather Knight, who's on 61 off the 49 balls that she's faced. Western Storm are 103 for 7. They need 35 to win off 23 deliveries. So it's going to get exciting now, Ed.
Yeah, well, again, it's just further and further on Heather Knight's shoulders. Certainly some good shoulders to have it on. That full toss, made into a full toss by Smale. She kind of did everything right, and then just, I don't know whether it was just not quite sure whether she wanted to try and clear the ropes or try and find a gap, and ended up in the middle of 2 things and being caught at long on. And when the Vipers were successful in hitting down the ground, they went really straight. Yeah,
and there's usually chances straight. It's sort of flicked down the leg side, but there is no run.
Adams it was who bowled that last over in the 50 over game that we've been talking about a bit, when the Vipers managed to close it out.
Yeah, right arm over. That's into the gap, beautifully played by Skelton, but it's sort of spinning to the fielder who comes off the rope and throws that back to Southby, and there is just 1 run to the total. 104 for 7. Knight to face now.
Now we've seen both innings. Can say it does look as if it has got more difficult to force the pace late on in both innings.
Yeah. Heather Knight comes forward and plays that to long on. Maya Boucher picks that up and then just get a single, so another one off. That total that they're chasing now.
And that's really all power from Knight there, and she knows she can't hole out, so she's got to try and slap it along the floor, but it's hard to do.
Needs a gap, doesn't it? Skelton plays that into the offside. Lauren Bell feels that at point, but they get through for another single. Another one off. 106 for 7. Need 32 off 19 balls. Here at Bristol in the Charlotte Edwards Cup, playing for that top half of the table. There are 8 teams in the women's regional setup as it is at the moment, and the top 4 will go to semi-finals at Derby as Heather Knight comes forward. Oh, plays that. Georgia Adams does well to fend that off. I think that was self-defence more than anything. There might be a chance for a run. Oh, Rihanna Southby's got a mouthful of dust there.
Yeah, and
doing the
like knee
backing up.
getting stuck in the ground.
I know
there.
that was fraught
Seeing the
with-
replay of the catch, though, I mean, that was a spectacular effort from Adams. And again, not too many who'd have had the wingspan to reach it first off, but she's thinking that would have been the match if I'd taken that.
Yeah, we're
It
going to
was
see
in
another look
my
at this,
fingertips.
because I think Heather Knight really got what she did. And I mean, I don't know, well, it is a drop, but it's more of a sort of parry, really, because it was coming straight back at her.
She's got such a... I was just looking at it from that angle. She's got such a unique release point, as well as Georgia Adams. You kind of don't realise until you see it from that angle, so we're looking front on at her, just where the ball's coming from, because she does bowl it quite round arm, and she's so close to the stumps, it's almost coming from basically level with the umpire's head.
A bit more
and
slingy.
it's going absolutely stump to stump, and I think that's what Danny Gibson said in terms of her accuracy. Just there seems to be very little that can go wrong when you're bowling from basically level with the stumps anyway. Here's Charlie Knott to bowl. And that's in the air around the corner. It's not quite going to have the legs to skip onto the boundary. They want two, and the ball has just been underarmed in from the deep. That was not particularly tidy from the Southern Vipers, which you don't tend to say very much. I suspect Charlotte Edwards. Yes, you
Steam
can
coming
see
out of her
yes,
ears.
exactly. You can see the sort of
that was my thought as well.
The temperature graphic rise, but Freya Kemp, is it that shoulder?
Possibly told to underarm it, perhaps.
Anyway, an extra run taken, which means Knight keeps the strike. Using the feet, working the ball through the leg side. It's between long on and deep mid-wicket. Knight again wants two. There's hesitation about coming back for the second, but the throw is offline. There was two there if they'd just gone for it straight away, but hesitation.
It made it more exciting,
yeah,
anyway.
so often that loses you
Nelson.
your wicket.
Nelson.
I think Knight feels this might be the over she's got to target. And again, using the feet, slamming the ball through the onside. It's awkward for the fielder out there who does wonderfully well. Two bounces, and that easily could have got by deep mid-wicket.
It's a bit unlucky there, but then lucky to get the drop catch, if we call that drop catch.
Monaghan again out there.
Yeah, some good fielding out there. Spectators giving her a bit of a cheer, even though she's the opposition, as it were, for the home spectators here at the Bristol County Ground. What does it say at Unique?
Seat Unique Stadium.
Seat Unique. Okay.
Skelton cuts, and it's dropped at point by Lindsay Smith. And they'll scramble through for another run. These fielding errors are going to be driving Charlotte Edwards crazy in the dressing room. They may still win this game, but they've had chances to get rid of both Knight and Skelton now. Admittedly, the caught and bowled chance was extremely difficult off Knight, but these extra runs in the field, and now that one that should have been taken. And it also means that Knight's back on strike, but she can't find the boundary again, just the deep mid-wicket fielder. So no boundaries yet off this over, and it's almost at 2 a ball.
Has anybody counted how many fielders they've got? Because in the orange it looks like there's lots of them.
But everybody back on the leg side, everybody up on the off side, and they're just bowling it really straight. Skelton looks to force the ball away, but that won't be a run at all. Does mean Knight is on strike for the 19th over, but now it is exactly 2 a ball. This has really built up as Storm have lost these wickets through the mid part of their innings. And look at that, Heather Knight 69 and nobody else above 12 in this innings. It really would be a burglary if Storm win this game.
It's exciting though. Stay with us here on the Gloucestershire live stream. You're listening to Claire Jenkins and Hannah Thompson-Radford, who's off at the moment. We're both former Somerset players, and the lovely Ed Seaborn. If you can hear us over the PA. We're feeling like we're in it today, the music and the PA.
So Adams for the 19th, and then Lauren Bell to bowl the last over.
Adams into Heather Knight, comes forward, plays it up in the air. It's going towards the boundary. Is it a catch? Oh my goodness me, it's a catch. It's a running catch on the boundary. Well, luck was in with the parry from Georgia Adams the last over, but this was a beautifully struck and down the ground, and that was just pinched off the boundary there. Great catch. Well, that's you said about driving straight, didn't you, up and over, and she did. But it looked like it was going over the boundary, but she covered a lot of ground and took it in front of her, and then also managed to tiptoe around, touching the rope there, and is well pleased with herself.
Absolutely incredible stuff from Alice Monaghan.
Yeah, I mean, Danny Gibson talked about Alice Monaghan and her fielding, and Hannah also said that she's often perhaps overlooked as a fielder, but that was a great bit of fielding there. So, and this brings Lauren Filer to the crease. So we've got Filer and Skelton at the crease here, and it's a crucial moment, isn't it, Ed? They need 24 off 11 balls.
Well, it's in some ways it's almost straightforward now for Filer. She's got to go for it. There's no point in trying to manoeuvre the ball about. She can hit a long ball when she gets hold of it, Lauren Filer, but can she do it now?
As can all those tall bowlers. Oh, that was a Dancy Oops. I was looking at... Was that Dancy Oops? Oh, we're going to see that again now. She's gone. That's out. That's clean bowled. And I think even if it hadn't been clean bowled, I suspect it might have been stumped as Lauren Filer looks to the skies and is filthy with herself for getting out first ball, unfortunately. So Western Storm find themselves 114 for 9, needing 24 off 10 balls. And Ellie Anderson, who is their Central Sparks import, fast bowler. So fast bowler replaces fast bowler here at the crease. So Ellie Anderson, she can bat. I've seen her bat for Central Sparks. What can she do here with Western Storm down 9 wickets, chasing that total? And Ellie Anderson, Worcestershire player, England under 19. Getting good opportunities here at Western Storm as Georgia Adams comes in to bowl. Ellie Anderson manages to jam that down. There is no run, so another delivery is chalked off.
That's a pretty good ball to bowl for your hat-trick ball, but not through.
Adams in. Anderson plays that forwards, straight drive as Ed encouraged to Maya Boucher, and they just get 1. And so Skelton will find herself on strike with the Vipers captain in control of the ball. Skelton can only defend that, and it kind of feels like that Vipers will be happy with that. Another dot ball. Perhaps Charlotte Edwards is calming down a bit in the dugout, we'll see. As the next ball, that's lofted in the air, but I think it's going to drop in a gap. It is. Maya Boucher does a lovely bit of fielding, but they only get a single, and that singles won't do it for them. That's the end of the over. 19 overs gone, 1 over to go. 22 to win, Ed. 6 balls. What do you reckon?
It looks as though they've done it again, haven't they, the Vipers? They've got themselves out of that situation despite the England captain playing a magnificent innings. It took some catch to get rid of her as well. I mean, to be honest, I thought that it was going to be one of those where you might get fingertips on that catch, but nothing more than that. And in the end, she's taken it two-handed somehow, Alice Monaghan down the ground. That really is
great catch.
A fantastic catch in that situation as well, knowing that it's Heather Knight, knowing that the ball's going for 6 off the first ball of that over. It would have been 18 needed from 11 balls, and you'd have to say with that 6 having just been hit, that would have been Storm maybe back as favourites, but now they need a miracle. They're going to need some help, I think, really, from Southern Vipers now to win this, as Lauren Bell bowls the last over. And hit up in the air. It's a decent shot, but they've got the field set so well. They've got a deep extra cover in place for Chloe Skelton because they know that she is strong through the offside. Her favourite shots, kind of cuts, lofted drives over the offside. And so they did have everybody up on the offside previously, but they've got that sweeper back in a perfect position. 21 needed from 5. And a cut and a miss from Anderson. It's very hard to ask a number 11 to come in this situation, even if they can hold a bat. It's another thing asking them to strike at 300 for an innings and having to face one of the premier fast bowlers in English cricket in Lauren Bell. Slower delivery and defeated by the change of pace. And so It's in that situation where the Western Storm need snookers. 21 from 3 does not go.
Or some extras, or sundries as the Australians call it. Makes me think about ice creams, because we're also looking at the ice cream van here. We're opposite corner to it.
And again, wide outside the off stump. In fact, this
wide.
time it is going to be wide, and they'll get through for a run. So, 3 sixes ties it.
Oh, yeah. No pressure on Skelton then.
Well, you never know.
It's doable. That's the thing.
It is mathematically possible for the Western Storm to get something out of this game. Let's be positive.
Yes. As the sun comes out here at Bristol.
And a swing and a miss. Skelton is certainly not lacking for effort here, but unfortunately these two against Lauren Bell so far have been, to borrow from Monty Python, been attempting to cut down the mightiest tree in the forest with a herring.
Oh, which is always an interesting challenge with a herring. Brilliant.
I didn't do the voice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a beauty from
Little
Bell.
check.
Southby thinks that she might have a run out, but no. I say run out, that probably would have been stumped, wouldn't it? Because she didn't really attempt the run.
No, I think yes, right. I think she's...
It's that old one. Oh, right over the top of the stumps, goodness me. Yeah, she
still
just got
her
that back foot grounded.
fortunately.
It would have been stumped rather than run out.
You see, Ed's showing that he's done his umpiring qualification.
I'm just trying to please
Please
people
the
who
crowd.
might be listening. Last ball, and it's struck up in the air. It's going to be taken by Georgia Adams, and that is the perfect finish for the Southern Vipers. They have done it again. It is a 100% win record for the Southern Vipers against the Western Storm in the regional setup, and it is a sad and slightly sour note in the end for the Western Storm to finish their existence at Bristol. So still more cricket to come, of course. We've got one more home game left for Western Storm in the Charlotte Edwards Cup. That will be brought to you by BBC Radio Wales from Cardiff.
Yep.
And then some of us certainly will be back when the 50-over competition resumes. But it is an 18-run win for the Southern Vipers. That means they move on to 4 wins and 3 losses. They maintain their position in the top 4 heading towards finals day, and they will feel that they should be getting there now.
Yeah, I mean, previous years we've had the top of the table goes through automatically to the finals, and then two and three play off for a sort of showdown. But this time, for the first time ever, we've got semi-finals, which is exciting. But it does mean that it is that kind of dilemma. You have to be in the top half to get in the semis. It doesn't matter how you stay in that top half, but in the top half. And then you're going to be going to Derby on the 22nd of June, and there'll be 2 semis and a final, so it'd be good value for money for that one. So yeah, so Thursday, Western Storm, as Ed mentioned, will be at Spy Gardens in Cardiff playing Thunder, starting at 2:30. The other game that day will be at Lords, where Sunrisers take on the Blaze, who are winning everything again, as they did last year, and still found themselves on the wrong end of the Vipers. But yeah, so Lords, that's a 2:15 start on Thursday for Sunrisers the Blaze. Friday, I will be back at Edgbaston, where I was yesterday. Friday the 14th, a 3 o'clock start for Central Sparks versus Thunder. And the other game that day is a 3 o'clock start also, where the Vipers, the visitors here today, they will be playing at home at the Utilita Bowl in Southampton against Northern Diamonds, who I saw yesterday. Holly Armitage had obviously decided and said in all the pre-match stuff that they had to win all 5 games that were left. They certainly won yesterday, but I haven't seen today's scores yet, so I'll leave you to... we're going to check that. Do we know?
Diamonds 71 for 2 in the 10th over, chasing 160, so it could be...
What's your prediction on that one then, Ed?
Well, I'd imagine the Blaze, given the fact that they've won so much, might hold on, but you never know. Anyway, so that's the roadmap, as it were, for the future in this competition. As far as today is concerned, this was just the first half of the double-header here on Family Day after the Gloucestershire men's game against Sussex in the T20 Blast. We'll have that magnificent sight of loads of kids out on the outfield having coaching sessions. There'll be tables lined up with autographs to be had by both Western Storm and Gloucestershire men's players. So that will be something for everybody to enjoy. And we do have that second half of the double-header coming up. It's a 2:30 start for Gloucestershire versus Sussex in the T20 Blast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to us at Seat Unique Stadium for the first part of this double-header. The Southern Vipers have won by 18 runs against the Western Storm. From Hannah Thompson-Radford, from Claire Jenkins and from myself, Ed Seaborn, thank you very much for your company, and we'll be back soon.